$2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. Rebates available for a limited time. For a free estimate, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Guys, it's June. Can you believe that? It is June. It's almost Christmas. Happy Monday. Just sit down and enjoy your lunchtime listening to the Annie Frey Show to 97.1 and knowing that summer is here. We're excited to be with you. Had a great weekend this weekend. Got to take in a few Cubs Cards games. I went Friday night. We'll talk a little bit about that later in the show. And then one of my dear friends reached out to me and said, hey, you want to go to the game with me on Sunday? So I went yesterday as well. And I do want to tell you this. If you are looking for something wonderful to do this summer, I want you to consider going to a Cardinals game. It was so fun. So we'll discuss that a little bit throughout the course of the show. We've got a good show lined up for you. We have a new guest of the Annie Frey Show coming up in 13 minutes from right now. You might remember this name. You remember this name? George Santos, former United States representative for New York's 3rd Congressional District, ended up going to prison and receiving a clemency from President Trump. But since he's been back out in the media, and among us, he's been reacting to a lot of what's been going on in the political landscape. And he's going to come on the show and talk to us about his thoughts on this current makeup of Democrat opponents in the field against Republicans going into the general election. So George Santos is going to join us. You can listen to us on the Audacy app for that. Stream us anywhere, anytime. 97.1 FM Talk. Follow the Annie Frey Show there. We'll also have him on with us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. George Santos at 12:18. We're going to speak as well at 1:30 today with State Senator Jason Plummer from Illinois. Last night, in the 4 a.m. hour, Illinois passed a budget. And how does a cool $900 million in tax increases sound, Illinois? Sound good? Sound good? Yes. To pay for all of those services that you're getting from your state government that are important. Good news, too, for illegal immigrants in the state of Illinois. You now get in-state tuition. Congratulations to you. If you come from Missouri to go into Illinois, you're going to be an out-of-state tuition. But if you come from a foreign country to the state of Illinois, you can get in-state tuition. Imagine that. Way to go, Illinois. Jason Plummer will be with us at 1:30 to discuss that. The YouTube poll for today, I'm excited about this one because I continue to be excited about this campaign, whether it materializes or not. Got a primary coming up here in California. Can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Yes or no? Ethan, I have a question for you. Do you know anything about Spencer Pratt outside of he's this guy running for mayor? Does the context of Spencer Pratt, reality TV, the OC, does that mean anything to you?
No, not the personality himself, but specifically to what I have seen from him in some of his political pitches and stuff like that. I've liked what I've seen. Now it's just a matter of, is he going to be able to convince enough of that blue heavy area that it is truly for the better and truly for the greater good of Los Angeles and that surrounding area. But certainly is intriguing, and it's refreshing to see at least someone in that area making noise. I don't even know if I would say representing this side of the aisle, but just a common sense side of the aisle, I think. I don't know if 20 years ago, 30 years ago, Spencer Pratt is, running on that side, but it's just gone so extreme to that, to the left, that someone in the middle looks like they're super hardcore right.
Spencer Pratt has said here recently, he goes, my voters are Democrats. They're just Democrats who are sick and tired of the status quo. That he's really not campaigning as a lefty or a righty, that he's not campaigning as somebody who is really hardcore trying to be political party based. He refers to his campaign as the look around campaign. Do you like the leadership that you're under right now? Look around. And if you don't like it, don't vote for it again. He was on with Bill Maher, and he was, can we turn the volume up on the sound, please? He was on Bill Maher, and he was talking about his campaign for mayor, and Bill Maher's come out and said, as Bill Maher is apt to do, something to the effect of, like, I kind of like this guy. Kind of knows what he's talking about.
I grew up in L.A. All my best friends are Jewish. I grew up going to Crossroads. I've been to more bar and bat mitzvahs than I had been to church till I was maybe still tied, to the point where, of course, when I'm running for mayor, I'm going to temples. I'm supporting my Jewish friends. The level of psycho Nazi lunacy that came at me to just say that I want my friends and family to feel safe in LA, to feel safe if their kids go to UCLA. I had to see, if the only thing that came out of this whole experience, there's a lot of things, if I, God forbid, or God's plan, I don't win, to see what people experience right now just because of their religion is diabolical. And again, I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care how you identify. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care whatever you do, but you should have the right to do that and feel safe wherever you are, whether it's going to school, going to your poppin' trans bar, whatever it is. Right. You should feel safe and not feel in danger. And that's to my common sense.
So is there does he need to have, should his message be anything different than that? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are, what, lifestyle you choose, or that chose you, however you're supposed to say that, what race you are. You should feel safe, whether you're going into the local McDonald's or the highest end restaurant in Los Angeles. You should feel safe going into all of those places. Everybody should deserve that human dignity. And I know that in Los Angeles, you hear a ton of people talking about how you've got poop and drug needles laying all over the place. But I really think that's a message that resonates pretty much to anyone, anywhere. That a lot of people don't feel safe. If you took away
the colors of the political parties, I really don't think that a lot of this campaign would change. You would look at the current leadership and you'd say, well, things aren't going very well under them. When you see the current state of Los Angeles, California, which should be once was one of the greatest cities in America. Yeah. And now has a reputation of it's dirty, it's gross, it's infested with homelessness and drug addiction on the streets, lack of safety. Like that is absurd. All that Spencer Pratt is saying, as you mentioned, is, listen, I just want to clean this stuff up and try and return this once great city to its former glory. Have you seen the DC cleanup that President Trump has done? Have you ever seen any of those pictures, like with the fountains? The Columbus fountain, is that what it's called? It looks amazing. Stunning. It looks like something out of Europe. Like nice Europe. So Europe kind of has this problem too right now. Sure. The before and after pictures, it's got graffiti on it. It's all gray and hasn't been running for almost 20 years. I'm wondering if Spencer Pratt goes into Los Angeles and does his look-around solution of the homelessness, the drugs, just the depravity that exists everywhere. If he can clean that up in a year, I would hope he could clean it up in a year. What's he going to do with the other 3 years? If he can clean it up, do a reality TV show as fast as he should take that LA show on the road live. I have a theory, and I was thinking about this on the way in because there's a lot of discussion right now about some of the candidates that Democrats are putting up come this midterm election that will be here in November. And people are scratching their heads of, if you have a vulnerable sitting majority, which is the way the midterm generally is, especially the second term into a president's time in office. Granted, this one had a little bit of an intermission, so maybe it's not. You can't really apply typical standard political cycle histrionics to it. But people are saying, well, who are these Democrats? Why are you picking these Democrats to go against these Republicans? Because if you look at Tallarico in Texas and, of course, Plattner in Maine, they're the two main topics of conversation, and the Democrats are talking about it, specifically Plattner as well. Graham Plattner, who's challenging the most moderate Republican in the United States Senate. People are like, why did you choose this guy?
of all of the people to try to take out the person you'd think would be most vulnerable on the Republican side of the aisle. Why did you choose him? And the question that I'm asking myself is the policies. What do you get offered from one side or the other? You're seeing in practice what Republicans can do with power. I wish you would see more of it. I wish they were more effective, but beggars can't be choosers. And when they say it would take an act of Congress as a euphemism to talk about how something will never get done, there's a reason why that's the euphemism. But I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the Democrats who actually get media attention, who actually get their name kind of in lights and end up speaking for the Democrat Party, how their goal is to stop Trump. That's the entire goal. You elect them if you want to stop Trump. Ryan Wiggins is always pointing out that there's like 30% of the people who watched the Joe Biden debate who thought that he won that debate. 30% of the people watched the same debate that Joe Biden's wife thought he was having a stroke. And 30% were like, I think he got him. I think he did great.
Answered all the questions.
Yeah. And what did Trump do? You got to do the Jill Biden point over the top and then a little corkscrew at the end. He lied. That's the whole message. It's right there. It's right in front of us. That's the entire Democrat platform. But I think I figured out on the way into work today why that's the only Democrat platform. I think the answer is, if you were to look at Democrat policies of 30 years ago, if you were to take leftist policies and just moderate them slightly, where the majority of people who would probably vote Democrat sit, those policies could work hand in hand with Donald Trump. There are policies that the Democrat Party would traditionally stand for that would have a Kamala Harris Venn diagram intersection with what President Trump, the populist America First president, there would be an intersection there. And they are so unwilling to let those two circles touch and potentially overlap in the middle because their whole platform is Donald Trump, the great Satan, must be defeated. If that's the case, then they can't have a moderate policy among any of them. Then you get Graham Plattner, and you get Tallarico in Texas, and you get a lot of moderate Democrats, fiscally conservative, socially liberal Democrats, people who are like, yeah, maybe I'd like to put a check and a balance on President Trump. You get a lot of those people going, this is what you give us? Good grief. How am I supposed to work with this? George Santos has been on the inside of Congress. He knows how the sausage is made, and he's going to join us on the Annie Frey Show next to talk about his thoughts on the upcoming midterm. We'll be right back.
With summer here and the kids home full-time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Enjoying the great taste and health benefits of cottage cheese is easier than ever with Pro Pack Snack Cottage Cheese Cups from Prairie Farms. Each perfectly portioned cup is less than 100 calories, low in fat, and packed with 12 grams of protein, making it a smart, satisfying way to fuel your day. If you're at work, practice, or a cards game, Pro Pack is your tasty grab-and-go snack option. Locally made, naturally delicious. Find Prairie Farms Pro Pack Snack Cottage Cheese Cups at your local grocery store.
Ready for a fresh start? The Excel Center in St. Louis is here to help you earn your high school diploma, tuition-free and on your schedule. With convenient locations in downtown St. Louis and Florissant, you can learn at your pace with support every step of the way. Need childcare, career coaching, flexible classes? We've got you covered. Registration is now open. Don't wait to take the next step toward your future. Visit excel.mersgoodwill.org to enroll today. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
Corey from Air Comfort Service. Why are you standing next to my AC?
I'm standing behind our work.
But it's 8 p.m. You're just going to stand behind my air conditioner?
Yeah, pretty much.
Could you turn off the sprinkler then?
Absolutely. At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, we take pride in our work. If you need a new air conditioner or HVAC system, you can trust we'll install the equipment correctly. Plus, for a limited time, qualify for rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
The problem is his judgment, which he clearly has been lacking in as an adult. It's one thing to have foolish, youthful indiscretions, but I'm sorry, you cannot get past. It is not a Nazi-style tattoo. It is the tattoo of concentration camp guards. It is the very worst tattoo you can get if you are getting anything Nazi, and that's a pretty high bar there. So this has been a slow motion train wreck ever since that tattoo and knowledge of it hit the world. And it's only going to get worse. These texts, there are multiple women. Are all those women going to keep their mouths shut from now until Election Day? What do you think, Lauren?
So, when you think about Graham Plattner, who wants to unseat Susan Collins, the most moderate Republican probably in the United States Senate, you weren't just listening to some Fox News hit or Newsmax discussion from somebody far right-wing. That was MS Now's Elise Jordan talking about Graham Plattner's biggest problem being his lack of judgment as a grown person. And he wants to go take a seat in the United States Senate on behalf of Mainers. We'll see what they have to say about it. I can't wait to hear what George Santos has to say about it. Former United States Representative for New York's 3rd Congressional District, George Santos, joins us now. Thank you so much for being with us. It's great to have you on the show with us.
It's great to be with you, Amy. I got to say that I did not hear that clip before. And when you said that's an MS Now clip, wow, that stings. That stings for them. I mean, yikes.
What do you think about some of the selection, Tallarico in Texas? It's just like, I can almost see Tallarico maybe working in Maine, but Tallarico in Texas doesn't make any sense to me. What is the true north here for Democrats in this midterm?
Look, I'm going to speak from a very, I can relate to a little bit of this about lack of judgment, right? Because I think I've displayed some of that in the past. So let's be candid here and not be obtuse about the facts. There is no way, shape, or form that there should be a place for a person like this to represent anyone in the United States Senate. Now, on the case of Tallarico, obviously he's not insane in the sense of the way he conducts himself. I think he's insane in his policy approach. I agree with you. I think he would be more Tallaricos in Maine would have worked better for Democrats, but I'm glad that they're not smart, that they put this absolute train wreck against Susan Collins. So I sit here, look, I am a Susan Collins apologist, and I get a lot of heat for that in the base. I think she does as much as she can to, and to quote Newt Gingrich, it's not about electing the most conservative person, it's the most electable conservative person where they're running. And I think that is Susan Collins for Maine. So I look at this and I think, what goes through the Democrats' mind? I think the reason they went with Planter in Maine was they wanted to contrast the Republican organic Chad, Broy, the dude vibe, right? So they picked this dude, like tattoos, kind of like rough around the edges. But then his tattoos are Nazi homages. His tattoos are legit representative of concentration camps. Then he has a absolute personal issue with the way he conducts himself in his love life. Then he has an obsession with porter parties and let's not talk about that on radio.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then to add insult to injury, he has a Kik account, which, by the way, I'm too old to know what Kik is, so I had to go ask like the youngsters. I'm like, what's Kik? And they're like, it's just like another text messaging app that's guided more towards kids. Although there's this anonymity element to it, which creates an opportunity for predators to swarm it. So I'm just like, Where did they find this guy in the back? Like, is Backpage back up and running? I didn't know. It's almost like they did a Backpage Craigslisting ad search and found this guy to run.
Took the first guy who applied for the job. It doesn't make any sense to me. And, you know, it's frustrating to me as somebody who is conservative, watching what gets thrown against some of our candidates, even our president, gets kind of manifested and manufactured against him to try to nail him against the wall about something. And they call him a fascist Nazi. And this guy has a fascist Nazi tattoo on his body that I only presume that he elected to put on. What reality timeline are we living in right now?
My head explodes just the thought, exploding head emoji.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on? Like, this isn't like, oh, he was a Steel. I think he's a Steeler Marine. I forgot. I'm sorry. But he's an Army man, and that's what they. I'm like, no. Most Army men have the discernment to know what a Nazi tattoo is and what is not. He chose to put that there. Look, God bless the Democrat Party, but they just can't seem to figure out what is the proper way to connect with the voters. I thought last year that we were going to win the midterms. Then I got a little cold feet, but I didn't say anything. It's not looking good. Historic numbers. And when you look at it, but now I'm bullish. I think we're not just going to maintain both majorities, but I think we're going to grow it. I think, look, yes, gas is a pressure point, but nothing trumps gas like a man saying that women are, neighbors who can gestate. Like, that's a Tallarico actual verbatim quote. Gestating neighbors are now what they call women in Tallarico's vernacular. So please, Democrats, more of that.
Yeah.
I really urge you to.
In-kind contribution to the GOP moving into the midterms. George Santos with us right now. Former United States Representative for New York's 3rd Congressional District. You know, I have this theory. I was kind of thinking about this, listening to some news coverage on the way into work today, and they were talking about these candidates specifically for the Democrat Party and just kind of going, what is their plan? There seems to be such a huge piece of the pie that it should be so obvious that's missing that would make this make sense that is clearly still missing. And my philosophy on this right now is that in order for the Democrat Party to live from a policy standpoint where their voters are, they'd have to be more moderate. They can't be these far left activist progressives. And the truth of the matter is Donald Trump, who is an America First populist president, has some policies that would rub elbows with people who are on the fiscally moderate to maybe even conservative left Democrat base. And they're so terrified of even winking towards the idea that Donald Trump has done something right that what you're left with is Plattner and Tallarico, which is a losing equation, I think, for the Democrats this midterm.
Look, I think you're spot on. The rare occasions that you'll see a Democrat coming and actually complimenting the president, these are little spouts of sobriety, and I think they have almost a sort of epiphany. And that's like Representative Glueson-Kemp Perez out of Washington. Sometimes you'll see it happen from Ro Khanna, but I'm not going to get into Ro Khanna. I get in trouble every time I compliment Ro Khanna. I like the guy, I got to say, but we disagree on politics a lot of times. Sure. But then you got Jared Moskowitz in Florida. You have some of Josh Schottheimer in New Jersey. You have a few moments of sobriety coming from these guys. But then, Hakeem Jeffries whips them back into shape and say, no, you don't get to do this. Look, at the end of the day, Democrats would have gained so much more if they worked with Trump. But the problem was the old guard of Chuck Schumers and Steny Hoyers and Nancy Pelosi said, no, we're not going to work with him, or else we're going to destroy the identity of our party, which would have been a great thing for America if Democrat, Republican all kind of just went away and it was all about America, regardless of, political differences, that we gained so much more. But unfortunately, the left has now chosen to make Bill Clinton look like an America First MAGA former president. On policy, at least.
Here we are. It's amazing. George Santos speaking with us right now. Before we let you go, and we're really grateful for your time. We love having you on the show and to be able to have this conversation with you. One of the things that I've loved about following you and what you choose to put out on social media is that you speak truth as you see it. You are unvarnished, and it seems as though you're unpersuaded by people who might disagree with you to couch how you present what you see as truth to us who get to consume it. And you've been in Congress. You've mentioned Democrats here, and you've even said, I like the guy. Maybe our politics don't match up at all, but they're still good people. That's America through and through right now. We all have, I always call them our Thanksgiving table Democrats. They're the uncles, the aunts that we love more than we hate each other's politics. Tell us what you see, what you've experienced. Tell us what we need to hear, even if we don't necessarily want to hear it, about how to actually get away from the crazy, barbaric division that we have right now in politics. Like, if we want to be a party going forward that's going to get the work done for the American people, how do we see our neighbors, especially going into this 250th birthday celebration of our country?
I'll say this. First of all, thank you and for anybody who follows me on social media. I have become quite, I've taken the truth will set you free to another level that I've actually lost a few filters along the way. I get in more trouble than I don't when I say things, but it's just, I can't hold it back anymore. I feel like I've committed some poor choices and decisions in the past that have led me now to say, like, you know what, it's either the truth or bust. And sometimes a couple of big F-bombs drop in between, and I need to work on that. But and I'm aware. But I will say this, having sat there, having been in those rooms, I've learned one thing and one thing only. The theatrics need to stop, and the American people need to stop assisting the self-aggrandizing ego that these members of Congress have, because this division stems from the U.S. House of Representatives. The Senate's a more geriatric body, which is actually quieter at most times. Yeah. So if you don't ruff their feathers too much, they won't be complaining about, why is my pudding not here? And let's talk to the House, because the House is where the action is. That's where the college happens, right? And I think we need to stop adding to the self-aggrandizing egos that all those 435 lovely megalomaniacs have. We need to make sure that they are humbled and reminded, you work for us. You are overemployed, sir, ma'am. You have 700,000 bosses, give or take, in which district you're in. And I think that's the attitude we need to employ. We need to make sure that they understand we control it. So, look, I love Thomas Massie. Disagree with him on some of his semantics, but I love the guy. President Trump made a choice. And I think if that serves as a, hey, dude, if you're not going to play on the team, that's kind of okay, but be quiet. Don't be obtuse about it. And I think that's a valuable lesson that the voters have the power. Whether we agree or disagree with that, Amy, I'm just giving you an example of the voters have the power. And I think it's important for us to do that because, look, America divided, America falls. We will be beating the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and many more who have caved before the 250th anniversary. We're beating those odds. And I want to see, I won't live for it, but I would love to know that we're on course for another 250 after this Jubilee.
Oh, that's incredible. And I hear you say 435 members of Congress that need to learn that lesson. So you didn't parse it by party. It's all of them. And that's our responsibility. We, the people, need to speak up and have our voices be heard and remind all of them who they work for. And it's us.
Most important words, Amy.
Yeah.
We, the people. Very important for people to know that.
Amen. Well, thank you so much. It's great to talk to you, George Santos. We'd love to have you back again sometime.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you, Amy.
Take care. Bye-bye. George Santos, former United States Representative for New York's 3rd Congressional District. We've been trying to get him on the show for a while and grateful that he was able to fit us into his schedule today. We're going to take a break. That YouTube poll, can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel to vote that. And a reminder, if you subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, if you turn on the notification bell, whenever we go live, that will remind you, hey, we're on the air. You'll see the live broadcast pop up, and the poll will be right there in the live chat. So it's an easy way for you to remember how to and have delivered directly to you that YouTube poll. And then, if you don't want to watch the YouTube broadcast all day, just hop on over to the Audacy app and take us with you. Stream us in your car, stream us in your office, stream us at home. AUDACY. Stream us on the Audacy app. Follow 97.1 FM Talk and the Annie Frey Show there. We'll be right back. Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com is the website, a very quick and easy way to learn if your foundation repair needs can be met by Home Shield Foundation Repair without making that phone call. Just visit their website, and they've got a great explanation, examples, reviews of the work that they've done in the greater St. Louis area, Missouri and Illinois alike, fixing people's foundation just like yours. Is your basement wet? Does it get wet last night? Gosh, that rain was coming down hot last night. And if you know and you hear that you're going to have water seeping into your basement, get ahead of that problem. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better unless you call someone to repair it. And when you do, you want to call someone who you can trust. Matt Hayes, the owner of this family-owned and operated local business, is ready to take that phone call to come look at your basement, to give you an understanding of how he can deliver you the satisfactory fix that you need with a lifetime warranty. 314-271-9900, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet June 16th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement? If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, June 16th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Homeowners, a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling. That's leaving money on the table. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure they're getting top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my buyers in waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can't get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. Call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
YouTube live chat poll. Can Spencer Pratt win as the Los Angeles mayor? Just two options, yes or no. We've been discussing this one throughout the early parts of today's Monday edition of the Annie Frey Show. You can share your thoughts with us on the YouTube stream or by texting us at 314-241-9797, where we will be sharing some of your guys' thoughts here pretty soon. The time is 12:36. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. From St. Peter's to Smithton, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Nobody voted for that no more. We not voted for that. Karen tricked us. She don't get to do that twice. Now you come in here all the way to Crenshaw from the Palisades, and we all got something in common. Let's do it. That's right. Let's do it.
So listening to Spencer Pratt, he's, out and about trying to win this mayorship in California, and I don't really hear a whole lot of the number one criticism of Spencer Pratt is that he doesn't have the experience, the chops to do what needs to be done as mayor. But when we're talking about looking around and saying, what are you dealing with right now? What kind of squalor are you living in right now? Why is it that you would have somebody who is the current mayor who's put you in this type of squalor, or at least certainly hasn't removed you from it? I mean, this is kind of the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Here's a real honest question. How much worse could Spencer Pratt make Los Angeles right now? Like, how could it possibly get worse? What, are people going to leave? Are businesses going to leave? Is there going to be more poop on the streets? How much worse could it possibly get?
I do not have an answer for you. I mean, it's pretty clear that it is in rough shape. And I mean, has any rebuilding begun from the wildfires that occurred last year as well?
That Joe Rogan clip that I played a while ago said he was talking with Joe Rogan, and I'm going to get
Pratt was?
Yes. And I'm going to get my numbers wrong. I think there are thousands of homes that burned down. And Spencer Pratt said 15 homes have been rebuilt. And Joe Rogan goes, 15 homes? He goes, let's just say 17 homes so they can't fact check us. Less than 20.
That is just unbelievable. I mean, what could possibly be preventing anything from getting going in that process? I mean, was that a year ago? A year ago, Annie?
Like a year and a half.
Year and a half?
Because I think the fire started basically on New Year's Eve, and then they just kind of spiraled out of control.
What are these people doing? Where are they? Like, what are all these people that lost their homes? What are they doing? Where are they living? I mean, I don't know. I feel like that hasn't been talked about in a long time. I mean, the fire itself wasn't that long ago, but the damage from it and just how populated of an area it was, you would think that would be another thing that would be getting discussed more and more. It just tacks on to the number of things of, could Los Angeles be in any worse position? I mean, at this rate, how long is it going to take for even half of those homes to be rebuilt?
I continuously think to myself, how do places continue to vote for the governance that in between in between 2-year phases or 4-year phases of casting your ballot, all you do is complain about all of these things that government should be, if you're in favor of government, this is where the government should show up and take care of business. And they don't, and then you elect the same people. Right now, Polymarket this was posted today, like an hour and a half ago, likelihood of being elected: Karen Bass 64%, Spencer Pratt 22%, Nithya Raman 13%. So Nithya, tomorrow is the primary, and the top two end up going on to the general unless somebody gets 50% plus one. If somebody gets 50% plus one tomorrow, then they don't have to have the runoff. I mean, Spencer Pratt is in the top two there, according to Polymarket, and many people think that Polymarket and these betting platforms are much better indicators than polls that are often, the ones that we consume are often paid for to influence, not inform. There's a lot of internal polling that exists in any campaign, but the internal polling is very different than the public polling. So, I don't know. Spencer Pratt seems to have a pretty good head on his shoulders, at least in message. In that clip we played earlier in the show with him sitting with Bill Maher, he often talks about, like, he's down for whatever God's plan is for him. It's an interesting message in Los Angeles.
The video clip that you played, what was it specifying with Bill Maher? I just watched one out there. I want to make sure it wasn't the same one. And basically, Bill Maher asked him about, what are your thoughts on solar energy and what we need to do there? Okay, not that.
I didn't play that one.
He basically asked, what are your thoughts on solar energy? And Spencer Pratt basically said, I don't know enough, but you know what? Like, compared to the top issues. Like,
That's
that is nowhere near the priority
Yes.
for me right now. His goal is he just wants to make Los Angeles a safe and livable place for people. Which I mean, there's going to be a lot of things like eventually down there. How long does it take to fix some of these things? Let's say that it takes 2 years. So what's going to happen after that? I don't care what happens after that.
And it doesn't matter.
He'd be doing the same amount. He'd be doing the same amount that Karen Bass is doing right now.
I think that the question, all this attention is being put on Spencer Pratt about experience on things like that, like trying to test out his chops or whatever. And his message is simply, none of that matters. Nobody's going to care about what solar energy laws and initiatives exist in Los Angeles if they move to Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They're
moving.
Maybe the best thing that I could do is tell you what Austin, Texas is doing for solar energy, or Nashville, Tennessee, or Reno, or something right across the border. Like, that is the point of interest, that people who are worried about their solar energy, those people, generally speaking, have options. The business owners that have brick and mortars planted with deep roots right here in Los Angeles and Southern California, you know what they care about? They care about the ability of people to actually patronize their business, that they can't just pick up and leave. If they pick up and leave, they'd have to start from scratch. I'm talking to a lot of people in Illinois right now who know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got businesses, you've got farms. You literally require the soil that exists in Illinois in order to fund your existence. And that doesn't pick up and move. State Senator Jason Plummer from the state of Illinois is going to be with us at 1:30, and he's going to talk to us about the marathon 20-hour session that Illinois went through last night. They wrapped up at like 4 or something in the morning. The legislators were walking out of the Capitol, and the sun was rising behind the Capitol while they were like, so this is what they did. $900 million in new revenue. Guess what new revenue means? I think it was Representative Nieberg who said that the Democrats in Illinois call them revenue enhancements. I actually feel pretty good about it now. Yeah, tax me more. Tax me more. Give it to me straight. Give me a break. We'll talk to Senator Plummer at 1:30, and we'll find out exactly what the legislative session wrapped up in Springfield late last night, early this morning. He'll give us the lowdown on that. Steve Moore will be with us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour as well to talk a little economics update. Let's take a quick break. Ethan's Wiggins America next. The YouTube poll. We want you to go vote. Come say hi in the YouTube channel. Can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Yes or no? You vote on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment there, but you can also text us your thoughts at 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. We'll be right back. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. He's got this really crazy offer right now that is only for a limited time. That is in conjunction with the Bagel Loan. So I want to talk to you people who are looking to purchase a new home and get a 30-year loan. For new home purchasers, you're going to lock in the lowest rate you qualify for. Whatever low rate you qualify for, you're going to be able to get that with Stewie. But you're going to get something a little extra. You're going to get a 1% discount on your interest rate for the entire first year of that mortgage. This makes them incredibly competitive on the market right now for a lender for you to be looking for. So 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Contact Stewie and ask him about this incredible opportunity. For the first year of your new loan, lock in a 1% lower interest rate on a new 30-year loan and still qualify for the Bagel Loan, which means no closing costs. Guys, this is a no-brainer. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Mark Cox here. Our friends at the USO Missouri are looking for volunteers. From Lambert Airport to Fort Leonard Wood, volunteers help provide comfort, connection, and support to those serving our country. Learn how you can get involved at usomissouri.org.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Ethan's Weekends America here in just a second. The YouTube poll for today: can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Yes or no? Can't wait to hear how y'all feel about this. I do not suspect that you folks think that a majority of you think that he can win. The question is not do you want him to, because I think a majority of you would love that. You said you got some text to the Annie Frey Show text line 314-241-9797.
I do indeed. From the 636, no. If he's leading, the Democrats will find additional votes mysteriously.
Oh, that's sad.
That's
probably
the
true.
spirit. There's a couple more one word answers as well. I haven't gotten a yes yet in the text.
Well, I just looked at the poll results. I'm not going to give you all the results right now, but it is lopsided. And not the way that the text line is saying. So
yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. 314-241-9797. If you want to weigh in, we'd love to have your thoughts.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins. Not Wiggins America. Ethan's America. Ethan's America.
Oh.
Yay.
It's my
Ethan's
favorite
America.
thing that Ethan did.
You know.
Do.
It's done.
It's my favorite thing
I wish
Ethan
I
do.
had did this at this point. Wish it was 12:56.
I wish it was 2:56.
Hey, I have to quickly share that it is Hannah and I's 2-year anniversary
Hooray!
today.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Do you feel like you've been married for 2 years, or do you feel like you've been married forever? Does it feel like it was
I
yesterday?
feel like 2 years is a lot more like, yeah, it's been 2 years than I was at 1 year. At 1 year, I was like, wow, this really flew by. In 2 years, I'm like, yeah,
You're
it feels
kind of
it's
like
been 2 years.
now you're kind of married. Like you're
Yeah.
in it.
Mm-hmm. Now you get
You're
into
not-
multiple years. You're like, okay, I'm been married for a little bit now.
Do you? We should talk about this more later. Can we talk about it more later?
Sure.
Since you brought it up.
Sure.
Can we talk about your marriage?
Sure. We
She can come in.
Talk about
I'll interview her.
aspects of my marriage. That
Sure.
is fine.
What else you got? In
So,
other news,
we've talked a little bit about Illinois passing this bill at the buzzer last night. What time did you say it ended? Around 5 a.m., is that right?
something like that.
Oof. Well, one of the things that did not get accomplished was anything regarding the future location of the Chicago Bears' stadium. As we've discussed, the bill was passed, but nothing in it specific to the Bears stadium. Rather than voting on the bill, the part of the bill that would specifically include the Bears stadium, which is the Municipal Stadium Authority Act, legislators instead decided, they said rather vote on the bill, which legislators crafted late Sunday to allow for certain Cook County municipalities to create a stadium authority governing body. The House adjourned shortly before 5 a.m. on Monday morning. Barring a summer special session in Springfield, the state legislature will not return to session until November. House Speaker Chris Welch was quoted saying that our caucus is used to processes. Our caucus is used to taking our time and getting it right. And it's proven over the last 5.5 years now, that those processes work. So we will get it right. We will get it done.
Who's this cat?
That was Chris Welch, the Illinois House Speaker.
Mm-hmm. Jason Plummer will be with us at 1:30. He's a senator from the Metro East in the Illinois State General Assembly, and we'll see if he agrees with that sentiment.
Bears leaders now face serious deliberations on what to do next after both Chairman George McCaskey and President and CEO Kevin Warren asserted in March that their goal was to have a stadium site selected by late spring or early summer. As I take a look at the 12-month calendar, it is considered late spring, early summer as we speak, Annie.
Wouldn't it be wild if Missouri loses their NFL team because of politics and Illinois loses their NFL team because of politics, and they're the complete opposite politics?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be that surprising, honestly. So I guess we will see where it goes from here. If anything were to ultimately get passed, Illinois' Stadium Authority plan would mirror what Indiana approved, giving the Bears full control over a stadium that they wouldn't technically own for decades, allowing them to collect revenue, avoid property taxes. It also provided a way for the team to get government help to fund the mixed-use development it wants to build outside of the stadium. So we shall see where this goes.
The question for Senator Plummer when he joins us at 1:30. First, we're going to talk about the budget and the revenue enhancements that they passed last night. Democrats only. After we get done talking about the budget, the first question on the Bears that I'm going to ask, Senator Plummer, is it possible that statewide taxpayers end up funding anything for a Chicago Bears stadium? Is that a possibility?
The Bears have pledged or vowed that they are willing to put $2 billion into the new stadium. So we will see if Illinois is able to at some point make something happen. I don't know. Not super optimistic at this point, but part of you just wonders, would they really go as far as letting the Chicago Bears, maybe the most well-known team, one of the most well-known teams in the NFL, would they really let them walk and move states? Part of me just...
You're a huge Bears fan.
Me? Get out of town.
That's what Chicago's saying to the Bears.
Watch your mouth.
Okay.
I am not a Bears fan. I am not a Bears fan. School Vikings.
How many times do you have to say that to get the sour, foul taste out of your mouth?
It's still there. I'll continue into the break. Maybe
bear down, Ethan. Finish the segment.
Maybe a state senator, Plummer, comes on. Maybe he'll finally be gone by that point.
That Bears.
This is a fun time of year for sports because you do have two championships being played at the same time. The NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals are beginning this week. I know some of you aren't big NBA fans. I'm not personally either.
Some are.
There are some. Some in this state, because there is a NBA team in this state that I often forget about. Spurs and Knicks starting on Wednesday, and then the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes. That begins on Tuesday. Wait, championship week.
Oh, there's an NBA. Okay. There's an NBA team in this state?
No, in your state.
Oh. I'm like, there's a Missouri.
No,
I had to Google it.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Maybe I misworded it.
No.
I meant in Illinois.
No, I get it.
After talking about the Bears and Chicago and all that good stuff.
I'd love to be a Bulls fan.
Why?
Michael Jordan. Say no more.
Okay. That's fine. They haven't been really good since then, but
that doesn't matter.
That's all I got.
Maybe we could swap Indiana for the Fever. Put them in the Midwest or something, in the middle of the state. Steve Moore and Illinois State Senator Jason Plummer in the next hour. We'll be right back.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress, but one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Cool down in the Middle East. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump just announcing that both Israel and Iran proxy Hezbollah have agreed to dial back fighting after he spoke with Israel's prime minister and mediators for the militant group. This after threats from Iran to target northern Israel and reported warnings the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran could end over the issue.
Iranian state media says that Iranian negotiators are no longer exchanging messages with the United States due to Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now, those reports did not address the ongoing rocket fire from Iran's largest proxy, dozens of which targeted northern Israel throughout the weekend. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to strike the Lebanese capital of Beirut, specifically the Dahya neighborhood, if the attacks continue.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Again, President Trump just posting both Israel and Hezbollah have agreed to stop shooting, also posting that talks with Iran continue at a rapid pace. A ban on transgender troops serving in the U.S. military has just been ruled illegal by a divided panel of federal appeals court judges. The decision upholds a federal judge's ruling last year that the executive order to exclude transgender troops likely violates their constitutional rights. However, the latest ruling is on hold, allowing more time for the Trump administration to ask the full appeals court to hear the case. The judge overseeing the Charlie Kirk murder case just denying a defense effort to close evidentiary hearings to the media and the public.
Public access to the judicial proceedings also serve in an important role in maintaining confidence in the fairness and transparency of the judicial process. This court finds these showings have not been made here.
Separately, the defense for accused killer Tyler Robinson is asking Judge Tony Graff to delay next month's scheduled preliminary hearing as it appeals a previous decision allowing cameras in the courtroom for that hearing. America is listening to Fox News.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The unsettled weather is gone, and our winds have turned to the north for the most part. Partly sunny skies, 86 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, a quick drop back into the 70s. Humidity starts to come down, 63 for the low. Tuesday, delightful. Plenty of sunshine, 83, and Wednesday, sunny and 82. Quiet stretch coming up. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get your AC ready for summer while helping shelter pets. Book your AC clean and check in April, and Air Comfort Service will donate a bag of pet food to Open Door Animal Sanctuary. AirComfortService.com/pet food.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We are watching this week the California primary as they march towards picking the top two. Probably not going to get a 50% winner potentially out of this race here, but the top two that would move on after this. We'll wait and see what happens. But boy, if you had a Spencer Pratt Los Angeles and a Zoran Mamdani, New York City, what would that look like? The comparison of the number one and the number two city in our country right now would be quite a lesson in economics, I think. Let's get to our guest. Steve Moore joins us, co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity, host of More Money, and author of The Trump Economic Miracle. Steve, welcome back. It's always good to have you with us.
Hey, Annie, good to be with you. And by the way, the same goes for the third largest city, which also has a socialist mayor now, Brendan Johnson. So, and then Seattle. I mean, it's very, very sad what's happening to our major cities: Minneapolis, Seattle, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. And, you know, I love America's big cities, and, you know, they're iconic, but they're just being buried in bad policy that is just destroying these cities with crime, terrible schools, high taxes, you know, homeless people everywhere. And so I hate to say it, but this is what happens when you have quote progressivism in the mayor's office.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating that we could have so many examples with so many, you know, controls from one city to the next with this very leftist Democrat leadership and governance. There are a lot of probably smaller town mayors who might be of the Democrat persuasion, but they still manage to operate a functional city level government. But the far left wing has captured our largest cities, and the consistency is so devastating. And, you know, like I'm looking and seeing what Karen Bass has to offer in California. I don't know what she could possibly say that would make somebody who's paying attention in this, you know, last week here before the primaries be like, oh, yeah, you're doing a great job. I mean, Spencer Pratt says, look around, and that's all. That's what he's got.
That's so right. And, you know, everyone knows that when you have a problem or addiction, the first stage to recovery is to admit you have a problem.
Yeah.
And yet that has not happened in Chicago. That's not happened in Los Angeles. It's not happening in New York. You know, what problem? Everything's just fine. You know, as Los Angeles, you know, they burned down thousands and thousands of houses because it was rich people, and we don't really care about rich people. And so, you know, so you're seeing a big migration out of the big cities. Now, it's not that hard to turn cities around. I mean, I was working in New York in the mid-'90s when Rudy Giuliani became mayor of New York, and everybody said it's ungovernable. And you could see just week after week after week the huge improvements in the city. And, you know, you got rid of the crime, you got rid of the graffiti, you improved the schools, you had accountability, you required people to obey the laws. And, you know, within a year, he turned the whole city around. It was a delightful place to be, to work and to play and to go to restaurants. And now to see those cities moving in the opposite direction is kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah. Steve Moore speaking with us right now. I have a question for you. You've studied economics for decades, and I can imagine that your fiscally responsibly conservative positions have been pretty consistent over those decades that you've been studying economics. But the opposition, those folks on the Democrat side of the aisle, I'm wondering, when I'm looking at some of these candidates that are being put up by the left, it really seems as though the platform is simply just to oppose Trump. And it doesn't even matter that they're not running against Trump or even maybe in the federal government, that Trump is always the opposition in all of these races. And to me, it seems like there are some populist measures and policies that this administration has put forward that I wondered if, Steve Moore, you have worked with Democrats in a different lifetime that might have found some way to say, you know what, that's a policy President Trump that I could work with, or that there was Democrats at a different time that would have said, how can we come together? But because his name is Trump, this iteration of the Democrat Party is disinterested in the whole thing.
No, and there's no question about it. So, when I first arrived in Washington in 1983, so that was a long time ago. That was 40-some years ago. Reagan was president, but there were at least half the Democrats, maybe not half, but at least a third of the Democrats in the Senate and House were kind of old conservative, Democrats. It used to be Democrats were the conservative party. Mm-hmm. And so, we passed, when we passed our tax reform law in 1986, which lowered tax rates and got rid of tax breaks for people. And there was great achievement. That passed 97-3 in the Senate. Can you imagine anything today passing 97-3?
No. You couldn't come together.
You can't even get 60 votes for anything, let alone 97. So things have changed. And look, there's no question the Republican Party has become more conservative, but the Democratic Party has just gone, cuckoo left. And I remember when Bill Clinton was president, he was a Democrat, and I didn't necessarily like his personal behavior, but his policies were pretty good. And we did a lot of bipartisan stuff when Clinton was president and when Reagan was president. Now it's like, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, devastating for the country in the wake of it, because I think that's what we're seeing manifest in some of our large cities, where the version of the Democrat Party that could best lead those cities, it's not like, okay, they've got a few extra government programs here that you would expect somebody on the left to have. It's becomes this far left progressive, destination that doesn't even serve its people. And then the cities become uninhabitable, and then they leave for bluer cities and redder states, and then you wonder what happens in those red states with the migration of people there.
What's happening now is that the people who tend to be moving out of the blue states are the Republicans. So, in fact, the red states are getting redder and the blue states are getting bluer as a consequence of the interstate migration. But I'm looking at, for example, San Francisco now, and San Francisco has adopted a pretty moderate pro-business Democrat as their mayor. And San Francisco was just a mess during COVID, in the aftermath of COVID. But, my son lives in San Francisco. He said, Dad, things are getting better here every day. So you don't need a right winger. You just need somebody who's rational, who just can be like a CEO and just run the place. And so, San Francisco's on a comeback. And then meanwhile, Seattle's a disaster. Los Angeles is, I love LA too, but my gosh, it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
What's going on in LA.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, bringing it home before we let you go here to my state of Illinois. Last night they passed a budget. You probably haven't, I don't know if you've seen any of these stories yet, but part of the Illinois House Bill 5093, they have expanded in the state of Illinois eligibility for in-state tuition for people who are non-citizens. So if you come from Missouri to go to Illinois, you're going to pay out-of-state tuition. But if you come from Central America and you aren't a citizen, you're going to be able to qualify for in-state tuition. I mean, you can't even make this make sense.
Well, I went to the University of Illinois, so that was a long time ago. But, now, so many of the students at Illinois are from China.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're paying the full freight, but I think that the idea is, well, if you're a non-citizen, I don't think you should be getting government benefits. And I'm very in favor of immigration, but if they're not, these benefits should go to people who were born here, not people who came here. So, and then I just was reading too that Illinois wants some new tax on the internet,
social media
that they want to. Yeah, the social media tax. I mean, these people will tax anything that moves.
Yeah. I don't even know that it has to move, Steve. I don't think motion is even required. Before we let you go, I know only for another minute or so, we're speaking with Steve Moore, co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity. Can you just assess to us at this point in the president's approach? Is the Trump administration's approach to this economy, yes, even in the midst of a non-completed conflict, if you ask the president, with Iran, is the economy in a better position today because of this administration's policies?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. Now, look, as the Iran conflict caused setbacks, for sure. It's been expensive. I think it's been a lot tougher than Trump thought it would be to get this done. And so, it's led to higher prices and a lot of, additional expenditures. But this president, I mean, before we went in Iran, we had the lowest gas prices ever. The word I would use for the U.S. economy right now is just resilient. Even though we've got these problems in the Middle East, the economy is still doing pretty darn good. I mean, I'd give it a B grade. Gas prices are still too high, but my gosh, jobs are out there. You've got a record high stock market. You've got businesses investing like crazy. We're blowing away the rest of the world. So, and we're producing more oil and gas than ever before. So I'm going to rate the economy a B right now. And I know people say C or D, but I think, that, and I understand. You go to the grocery store, you're pissed off when you come out of the grocery store and paying the bills. But incomes are going up. So I think we're going to get through this. And by the way, when the Iran conflict is over, I think you're going to see a super boom.
Gangbusters. Let's see. I hope so.
Yep.
Steve Moore, thank you for your time. We're grateful for you.
Thanks. Have a great week.
You
Take
too.
care.
Bye-bye. The co-founder for the Committee for Prosperity, host of More Money, and author of The Trump Economic Miracle. You go to committee2unleashprosperity.com. He also has the Unleash Prosperity hotline. If you want just a list of like 4 or 5 points of what's going on with the economy, I appreciate this every day. I think that you will enjoy it as well. It's free to subscribe. It's the Unleash Prosperity hotline. I encourage you to check it out. Let's take a break. We're going to speak in 15 minutes with Illinois State Senator Jason Plummer. He represents the 55th District here in the St. Louis Metro East. You can go to senatorjasonplummer.com to learn a bit about him. He's going to teach us a little bit about what the Illinois General Assembly squeaked through in the dead of night last night with your tax dollars. We'll be right back.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, At Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis conservative.
We were talking a little bit earlier in the show about the cleanup of Washington, D.C. I went to D.C. in, let's see, sophomore year, 26, 25, 24. In the May 24 was when I went. So that was before President Trump was reelected. So that would have been at the end of Joe Biden's presidency. And then I went back. Was it that summer? I guess it was. That summer I went back with my husband because he had never been to D.C. before. He's a history teacher, teaching all this stuff. And he would have liked to have gone on the 8th grade trip with my son, but being a teacher is just hard to detach yourself from the classroom while school is in. So he and I went back. And I don't particularly remember filth or a lot of I didn't feel unsafe necessarily in D.C., but we were very particular about where we went and how we got there and when we went there. So seeing some of the videos that are out there right now as to the sprucing up that the administration has done for Washington, D.C., it kind of, I don't really understand why people would be mad about it other than the obvious, this is something that Trump is doing, so I guess we're mad about it. Do you think that we should care about to the extent that we should invest taxpayer dollars, federal taxpayer dollars, into making sure that our nation's capital looks beautiful? Because if you've been around downtown St. Louis, you know what it's like to be, I experienced this weekend, walking to the parking lot where I parked my car on Friday. It was a little bit farther away than where I parked on Sunday evening, but I had to walk around tents on the sidewalk. It was just a sidewalk down Market Street, tents on the sidewalk. That's just an experience. And it was probably 9:45 p.m. when I was walking past there. So it's not like I was walking down the street at 2 a.m. and someone had thrown their tent up on the sidewalk. 9:45, Cardinals game letting out, Market Street, pretty close to the courthouses that are there at Market and Tucker. And there are tents out on the street. Should we, I would think that the city of St. Louis should take pride in the experience that consumers, visitors, tourists, all these people have when they come downtown. That they should take pride in how the city displays itself and to ensure that we don't make it feel unsafe. City Park, if you're walking down, it's like right around Keener Plaza before you get, it's just a little bit west of Keener Plaza on Market Street between there and the Civil Courthouse. It's so pretty. That City Park is beautiful and interesting and full of art and experience. And we passed it when we walked to the stadium, but I avoided that place like crazy walking home because all of the vegetation and stuff that they have there, it's all big, and I just felt like it was too secluded. Like I wasn't out in public enough to be safe. So I walked on the other side of the street, and that's where the people put their tents. I would like to see that investment in downtown St. Louis, and I certainly would like for anybody who's visiting our nation's capital to be like, these people seem like they kind of got their act together.
The real scandal is not about that we're fixing up monuments and making America, this Capitol beautiful again. The scandal should be, how in the world did we let our Capitol fall into such a disrepair? How did we fall into such a spot where celebrating American patriotism became partisan?
So the Secretary of the Interior, Burgum, talking about, if people want to talk about the scandal that is how President Trump is spending time and treasure on beautifying, cleaning up, not even just taking what Washington, D.C. is and putting some elbow grease into it and spot cleaning. He's adding things to it. The arc that he wants to build in Washington, D.C., he's trying to leave it more beautiful than he came into it, which he's already achieved that. Why is it that we have predecessors of either political party that have been complacent, comfortable, inattentive to the idea that where we walk, how we experience the outdoors in our cities, in our towns, that it should be presented in a nice way? And for good grief, for a city like Washington, D.C., that's just all about government, how is it that they walk around and don't see the value of making that place be clean? That in and of itself is essentially Spencer Pratt's message for Los Angeles. Whatever it is that Karen Bass is proposing that she's going to do, when he's being asked, Ethan was talking about this a little bit in the end of the 12 o'clock hour, that Bill Maher clip where Bill Maher's like, you're something about take on solar energy. And he's like, solar energy doesn't matter if we can't live here without being diseased by people's feces and used drug paraphernalia that are laying all over our town. Like, that stuff sounds great. And I don't have a 10-point plan on how to implement solar energy across Los Angeles, because I'm going to be spending my initial time sweeping up the streets from the filth and the refuse that is laying all over the place that apparently is acceptable to the people currently running this city. We have to have, there has been such a degradation in standards, in our willingness as a collective society, as a community of people to say, I think that we can set our expectations right here. We should be able to say, we should expect this amount of certain things. And if it's not meeting up to that, we should hold people accountable. But in Los Angeles, if you're going to hold people to a certain standard, then you're going to not be okay. This is an important part of what's been put upon American community and culture for the last 15, 20 years. We have been told that we're the bad guys when we say that people who are openly using drugs, performing sex acts or sex labor in the streets, that we should not be judgmental of those people. And then if you look at those people and have any negative thoughts whatsoever, then you are in fact a shameful person. When realistically speaking, those are shameful behaviors that if you want to live in a civilized society, you cannot accept that kind of behavior. And Spencer Pratt's whole platform is, if Karen Bass is willing to accept this as civilized behavior, then what do any of the other policies that she carries, what do any of those policies matter? We have been pushed away from our own individual, we the people ability to have standards and expectations of living in a civilized society. The idea of civilized, you can equate that with normal. When you hear the word normal, we have not been allowed to say that's normal. That's not normal. We're not supposed to say that anymore. We're not supposed to point at things and say, ooh, that's not right. That's not normal. That's not really acceptable behavior, because then you're judging other people. You're darn right we're judging other people, because I don't want to bring my children into squalor to accidentally get a needle that pokes through their, kid's tennis shoe while we're walking to a baseball game or while you're walking to a concert or an event venue in Los Angeles, California, or if you're just out for a walk in the beautiful California sunshine. I shouldn't have to clean my kids' shoes or even my shoes of human poop. That's not normal. It isn't normal. We have to get back to saying that's not okay. That's not normal. It isn't civilized. We should aim to be civilized. And of course, there are a lot of different ways that people can live their lives in a civilized fashion. Whatever that means for whomever is listening, as long as we're living in a civilized fashion, we should be good. But in a way to set everybody up on the ladder of victimization to ensure that everybody gets to be reorganized in an understood hierarchy of power and influence, normal civilization is no longer allowed to be assessed by you or by me. But I'm just here to remind you, only if you accept that. Only if you accept that premise. And you don't have to accept that premise. And that is all that Spencer Pratt is doing. Spencer Pratt in Los Angeles is saying, I refuse to accept the premise. This is not civilized. This is not okay. And other people are going, gosh, that's really right. I don't really care what their solar energy policy is. I would like to stop stepping in poop. What a weird, possibly successful campaign slogan to be the mayor of America's second largest city. Can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Yes or no? That's the YouTube live chat poll for today. Certainly is a long shot, but he's made a heck of a campaign so far. That primary exists tomorrow. Let us know what you think, if he can win or not. You go to youtube.com/@AnnieFrey and vote in our live broadcast. In the live chat is where you find the live chat poll. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. When we return, State Senator Jason Plummer, Illinois' 55th District Representative, Senator, I should say, in the General Assembly in Springfield, is going to give us the lowdown of more abnormal legislation from the supermajority of Democrats in the state of Illinois. Jason Plummer next. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com can help you with all of your home foundation repair needs, also commercial foundation repair needs. I want to encourage you to call Matt Hayes at 314-271-9900 if you have a foundation concern. If it's your basement, if it's patio walkways, if it's at work and it's the sidewalk that leads into your business and it's shifted and there's a trip hazard, that's a safety hazard. You know you need to get it fixed, but who do you call? Who can you trust? I want to encourage you to let Matt Hayes earn your trust. 314-271-9900 is the number to reach Home Shield Foundation Repair. If you go to their website at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, you can learn about all of the different services that they offer for you to make sure that you get the great service that you care about, warranted service that you can rely on. And when you meet Matt Hayes, you get to know him, you're going to see, yeah, he's really working hard to earn my business. And the reviews to back it up of other people he's had that he's worked with that he earned their business, did a great job. All you need to do is call him at 314-271-9900 or visit him online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisor Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet June 16th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement? If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, June 16th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The YouTube live chat poll on this Monday afternoon. Can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Just two options today. Yes or no. You can vote on the YouTube live chat, or you can text us at 314-241-9797. A couple of comments here on YouTube. One saying anything can happen. Another one saying Pratt can win the total vote on Election Day and lose the election. Democrats will count the votes in LA for weeks until they win. So we've seen a couple of different comments showing not a lot of optimism in the voting department and whether or not the polls can end up being true or not. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but go ahead and vote. And we'll be sharing those results in about an hour and a half or so. The time is 1:33. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Real talk, today's issues. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We've raised the minimum wage. We've created thousands of good-paying jobs. We've protected reproductive freedom, and we have stood up and protected workers' rights. We've made sure that we've invested in education, and we've done all of that while passing 7 consecutive balanced budgets, and we're working on our 8th. That's what's possible when you dream big and unite as Democrats. Don't let anybody tell you that we don't know how to get things done. Because here in Illinois, we have the blueprint on how to get things done. And I'm going to take that blueprint all the way to Washington, D.C.
Sounds like a threat from Juliana Stratton looking to replace Dick Durbin in the United States Senate as he is retiring. The Illinois blueprint, don't let anyone tell you that they don't know how to get things done. Here to tell us his thoughts on the Illinois Democrat blueprint getting things done, State Senator Jason Plummer, who is the Illinois' 55th District Senator. Senator Plummer, thank you I hope you've taken a nap. You had a late night last night, at least the General Assembly did. We thank you for being on the show with us today.
Yeah, it's great to be on, Annie. I appreciate you having me.
You bet. Can you just give us, what do you want the people in the 55th District that are listening here in our listening area, what do people know about what went down in the General Assembly last night?
What went down last night in the General Assembly was their blueprint, right? The same blueprint that's led to outmigration of families and businesses. It's led to the highest unemployment rate in the Midwest, the 4th highest in the country, and the blueprint that's led to Missouri. I know you have a lot of listeners on the Missouri side, having economic growth over the last 6 years at twice the rate of Illinois. I believe Missouri is about 10.8%. Illinois is about half that. Indiana is even a little bit slightly higher. So they are doing things, but those are not good things for the people of the state.
Yeah, and I think that if you go from person to person in the state of Illinois, at least down southern Illinois, southwestern Illinois, where you and I reside, it doesn't seem like anyone's happy. You know, it's not like people are like, come to Illinois. We've got some really great things going on. A lot of people tolerate it, and I guess in the state of Illinois, the alternative to voting blue is just not tenable for people. Last night, my understanding is maybe, $900 million in new, as the Democrats called them, revenue enhancements. What are the people in Illinois going to be under now that this legislation has passed?
So I've gone through this process, as you know, several years. This year it felt a little bit different, and it really felt different, I think, because there was so much consternation on the other side of the aisle. Oftentimes they're generally aligned and they kind of jam through their stuff. I didn't walk off the Senate floor until about 4:45 in the morning this morning. And it was amazing to me. There was stuff they were posting on the board, to vote on at the very end that they just started pulling off because it was clear that the governor's office, the House, and the Senate were not aligned. So what we did do was we passed a $56 billion budget, which set a new record in state spending, as you alluded to. They claim it's balanced, and we haven't had a balanced budget. I just heard your previous speaker say 7 years in a row. If our budgets were balanced, how come our borrowing and our debt continues to grow up?
How does she say that? How does the Illinois Senate candidate say 7? What are they tweaking to make that a statement?
Well, they just gaslight people. Let's take this budget, right? So $56 billion in spending. And they claim that they have $56 billion in revenue to match it, i.e. it's a balanced budget. But the reality is a lot of that revenue is based on actuarial expectations that we know are not realistic. It's based upon what you said, revenue enhancements, i.e. tax and fee increases since he came into office. Governor Pritzker has raised taxes on fees on Illinoisans at least 50, I believe more than 60 times now. But the problem is, right, so we put these tax increases into the budget, and they say, oh, it's going to generate X amount of dollars. They never generate what they say that they're going to generate. And so we're always short money at the end of the year. So the budget's not balanced. It's a violation of state statute, and the way that they continue to get away with it, and people like Juliana Stratton or who's never really done anything is sitting there, saying this stuff. It's very offensive to the people in Illinois who are dealing with out of control utility bills, out of control property taxes, and frankly, the highest tax burden in the country. And folks in Springfield just continue to spend.
Senator Plummer speaking with us. He represents Illinois' 55th Senate District in Springfield. You mentioned two things. I've heard the energy crisis referred to by you and several of your colleagues that I was watching very early this morning when I woke up. You guys were, looks like, giving us the debrief outside the Capitol with the sun rising in the background. And like I said, hopefully taking a nap. The energy crisis, I think people are still, I just got my bill, or I got my notification that my energy costs are going to go up once again. But then also property taxes. These are two of the main things that I think every single Illinois, red, blue, and anywhere in between or on the outside is saying, this is problematic for me. What did the Democrats do or say to address either of those issues for Illinois residents last night?
Well, I mean, look, you heard Juliana Stratton, right? I listened to the proponents of the budget speak on the floor, and it's like we're looking at two different documents. The only thing I know is what I'm saying is grounded in fact. It's grounded in data. The reality is budgets like the one that was passed in the wee hours of the morning when everyone else is asleep are the type of things that lead to higher and higher property taxes, right? We continue to force unfunded mandates on locals. We continue to take away local control. We continue to dip into money that should be going to the locals. And the locals have to make up for these shortfalls that are the cause of the state by raising property taxes, right? If we funded education properly, if we distributed funds to local municipalities like we used to do in the state of Illinois, if we quit rating these different funds, we could have relief, with property taxes. You mentioned utility bills. That's a whole nother conversation. That is CEJA and the various trailer bills. We have been on that like crazy. We have warned them. We've done everything we can. We took the cheapest, safest, most reliable grid in the country, and we've turned it into a complete catastrophe. It's interesting now. You're starting to hear the other side, which is largely elected officials from up north, start to complain about it a little bit because the Ameren territory got hit first, right? Well, now you got ComEd and the folks up north starting to feel the pinch as well. In fact, as of 12:01 a.m. this morning, there's another increase. And so right now, folks in Chicagoland are paying the highest energy bills they've ever paid.
Yeah.
Ameren, we're up 3 times in some markets. Everyone's up at least 2 times. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have the highest cell phone tax in the country. We can just go down the list. And so this budget, it wasn't responsible. It raises taxes. And then, and I don't want to belabor the point on the budget, but then if you look at their priorities, how you spend your money says a lot. Forget how much they're spending when you're not funding the developmentally disabled community to the degree that you should be funding them. When you're rating the that's another thing we didn't even touch on. When you're rating the gas tax money to try to band-aid over this budget, that shows a lack of priority. When you have bonding authority that is twice what the governor requested, that means you're creating you're funding pet projects for politicians on the backs of future generations. The governor requested I think it was about $766 million of bonding authority, Annie. But in the final budget, we put in $1.4 billion. That's $600 million, give or take, gap. That is all borrowed money that is going into Democrat legislative districts for pet projects. And your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren are going to be paying for that. So it just is very irresponsible, very frustrating. And a lot of Illinoisans just, they just don't know what to do anymore.
I got two more topic questions for you here. We're speaking with Illinois' 55th District Senator Jason Plummer, right over the other side of the river on the east side. I just want to know quickly the mechanics of getting this type of a budget through. Republicans in Springfield, super minority in the House, super minority in the Senate. J.B. Pritzker, far left progressive governor who really actually prefers to be president over governor of Illinois as he runs for his third term as the governor, but also shows up at No Kings rallies. I digress. How are Republicans presented with the opportunity to influence, being in the super minority? How are Republicans? I'm represented by an Illinois Republican in the Senate and in the House. How are they informed and included in the budget process that culminates in what was passed last night?
Well, we're not included. And it's not just a Republican thing. Republicans are completely shut out of the process. But I would also tell you, Annie, most of the Democrat legislators are shut out of the process too. They just know to keep their mouth shut and stand in line and see what they get. The reality is the governor's office and a few of the leadership members of the House and the Senate designed this budget. They keep it behind closed doors. We do appropriations hearings. We do a lot of appropriation committees. The input from those things don't influence the budget. They know what they're going to do.
When did you see, Senator, when did you see the budget that you had to vote on last night?
So they dropped a budget early yesterday, but we knew that it was not the real budget because they do that so they can say, oh no, you've seen the budget for a day. But then in the wee hours, for a day, 3,500 pages. But then what they did in the wee hours of the morning was they amended it and added another $864 million in additional spending. And we've got staff and legislators working hard to identify that stuff, but it is not a transparent process. There's a reason why it happens at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And most of your legislators are shut out of it. And until the voters demand more of the governor and demand more of certain elected officials, that process isn't going to change. It's very insulting to the people of the state.
Yeah, it feels very insulting every day. Illinois State Senator Jason Plummer with us. Last question, last topic I want to cover with you. And I just really want we're from Southern Illinois, 30,000 foot overview of what the Chicago Bears, maybe the Indiana Bears are going to, what is happening there? And the biggest question I think that our listeners and your constituents probably have is a penny of our tax dollar revenue going to go to help keep the Chicago Bears in Cook County somewhere?
Well, as of right now, the answer to that would be no, but that's largely because we don't know what's going to happen yet. The governor had, I would say 3 really, really important, and there was a lot of important consequential legislation, but 3 really important things, 2 of which he said or all 3 of which he actually said were huge priorities of his: the Bears, the budget, and the Build Illinois plan. Right. And I think what we're talking about here shows the lack of leadership from Governor Pritzker, because his number one legislative agenda item all spring was the Build Illinois plan. And that died over the weekend because the governor couldn't get it across the finish line. Then you take the budget. We talked about that did not go well for anyone involved. And so now the Bears, as you know, the Bears project went through several different iterations, including tacking on mega projects and star bonds and just a lot of different things, trying to, I believe, find enough ways to get enough legislators on board. What we ultimately saw, again, in the wee hours of the morning in the Senate last night was a very stripped down Bears bill that removed most all of the other the mega projects, the star bonds, all that stuff, and it was very focused on the Bears. And it passed the Senate. We'll get into the details on that in a second, but it died in the House. And so we left Springfield without a successful piece of legislation for the Bears. And so what I am seeing and what I'm hearing and what we talked about on the floor yesterday was that, Illinois legislators are supposedly going to try to work with the Bears over the summer and figure something out. But Indiana's calling, and we don't know what's going to happen. But there's absolutely no way that any nickel from downstate Illinois should go to fund a project like that, especially as we continue to see our capital dollars and our road money rated for Chicago purposes as it is.
Should or would? Is it possible?
Is what possible?
That Southern Illinois taxpayers send money to keep the Bears in Chicago. I don't know the answer to that at all. Is it possible?
It's absolutely possible. But we have no idea what the legislation is going to look like. Yeah. If there is going to be legislation, I mean, as of right now, there is no Bears legislation.
Okay.
It died yesterday. So for something to come back, we would have to have a whole new package, and nobody knows what would be in that package. So is it possible? Yes, it's Illinois. It's absolutely possible. But I think that they would be hard-pressed to get any legislator from south of Chicago on board with something like that.
Oh, man. Well, you should lobby to get the Bears to move down here into your district. we just put a stadium over here. I don't care where they play.
You know what? Before we worry about building professional sports stadiums and stuff, I'd rather focus on just addressing the property tax needs of my constituents, not the property tax needs of a multi-billion-dollar NFL franchise.
Can't say it better than that. Senator Plummer, thank you for the time today. Thank you for your hard work late into the evening last night and being willing to come share it with us today. We're grateful for it.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. Senator Jason Plummer, Illinois' 55th District Senator in Springfield. Didn't that tick you off? Hi, Ryan. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. And
do you need to go back to the doctor now? Do you need to go to therapy now? And that's frustrating as all get out?
It's always frustrating. I just, I think Stephen Moore said this at the beginning of the hour, something about, I wish you could just have leaders that were competent. Yes, some of them would push really radical left-wing legislation, but a lot of them are just so incompetent that they don't do anything right. Nothing. They can't even do their own agenda right.
I think you listen more to the show when you're not here than when you are here.
It's a great show when I'm not on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And sorry? I don't know.
No, I'll accept that apology.
I'm happy to have you back.
Thank you.
We'll have more when we return. The YouTube poll, can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Yes or no? Text us at 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. You know, I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. We are in the 6th hottest real estate market in the country, Stewie. What can buyers in St. Louis do to gain that advantage with you?
You know what, Mark? It's real simple. Number one, the Bagel loan. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. The Big Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Take that money you're saving, add it to the bid, beat all the other offers out. Number two, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. What does that mean? We pre-approve you for the maximum amount that you qualify for. You can then go into our portal and edit the letter and raise it or lower it to any amount you want up to the amount you pre-approved. No waiting for the loan officer, no waiting for anybody else. It's all in your hands. And the third thing, we can close in 10 days. That's a big deal. If you go to the seller and say, hey, here's my offer. It may not be the best, but we can close quick. Everybody else is 30 days out. You know it's going to happen quickly with our reputation. Big bam, boom, you got the house of your dreams.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
Ouch! Checked from behind. Man, that's gotta hurt. I'd hire Morgan & Morgan if I were them. What? Yeah, Dan, America's largest injury law firm. They serve up justice, ice, cold, law. Know what I mean? I guess. Their gloves come off when they fight for you. Okay. I'm talking a settlement slap shot. Shouldn't we be talking about the game? Yeah, Dan. Morgan & Morgan.
Proud partner of the St. Louis Blues. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
License number GL2500615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do, until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, we got Ryan Wiggins back in studio with us a little later than usual, but welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Where'd you go? What were you doing?
I was at the doctor again. They just make these appointments right in the middle of the show, and they're like, you have to do it. And I don't really have much of a choice. So I went to get my IV, my PICC line, out of my arm.
What do they do?
It is gone now. I said this once before. It's very strange that they do this, they put an ultrasound machine on you and they have this surgical procedure to put the PICC line in your arm, and then it goes all the way from your arm up into your heart.
Ugh.
So that...
Does it hurt going in?
No, I mean, they give you a
Does it
little
tickle?
shot of Novocaine or whatever it is, the lidocaine or whatever, so that it doesn't hurt. I don't know that it would hurt that bad anyway. It's like getting a shot. Because once it gets inside your vein, you can't feel anything.
Are you easy peasy with shots and blood draws and stuff like that?
No, I can't watch it.
Are you a baby?
I have to turn away. Well, the problem is, and maybe if you're listening, you understand you have this plight. I have very stretchy skin and rolly veins. And I tell every single technician this, and they all go, oh, I'll be fine. And then they stick that thing in there, and they don't get it. And so then they start moving it around under your skin.
Has this always been the case for you?
Always been the case.
Does CF, if you're not familiar, Ryan Wiggins has cystic fibrosis, which is obviously congenital. Have you always had this issue, like as a kid? And if you have cystic fibrosis, do you get stuck a lot?
Yeah, you have to give blood a lot because
So you're used.
they're
So you
testing
grew
you all
up
the time.
with this as a life experience.
Yes, always, always, always. And it's always been the same issue. I don't think that it's CF related that I just have stretchy skin and rolly veins.
No, but that you are a
constantly
lifetime
giving blood.
experience of getting stuck.
And just, with the freaking kidney stone I just had, I had to go do ultrasounds for that. And you walk in, they go, oh, CAT scan or whatever. They go, oh, we're going to put the dye in. And I said, hey, listen.
Did it make you feel like you were peeing yourself?
No, I didn't feel that way at all. That's a weird thing to ask.
I've had scans before, and the dye is the dye is the contrast, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah,
as far as I know.
That I've had that in, and it makes you feel like you're peeing yourself.
No way, really? No, I did not
Can
have
somebody
that.
please send a text to the text line 314-241-9797? You get this warm sensation, and then it goes to like the area where you would pee, and they're like, you're going to think you're peeing yourself. And I was like, no, I actually think I'm peeing myself. I wasn't. They were right.
No way. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's just like real warm.
And I've had that dye. Now the weird thing that I do think is cool when you get that dye is they'll say, okay, it's going to feel real cold. And then you feel it go in, and you're like, oh, yeah, that is cold. And then it hits
Maybe
your
you're
heart.
a lizard person.
Maybe. Well, they told me this, though. And then it hits your heart, and then that cold goes everywhere because your part just goes pew. And it's a cool sensation for about 2 seconds.
Joe said, usually when I get that sensation, I'm actually peeing myself. Okay, Joe.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
And does that have anything to do with a CAT scan?
Yeah. He's also never had a CAT
He's
scan.
just wears a diaper.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've had maybe that was for when I had my appendix out. I've had an ovary out. I've had a lot of work done. None of the fun stuff. Are we breaking? Okay.
All right. Well, I got my PICC line out, so
Hooray,
I'm good to go.
Congratulations. We'll be right back.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Retirement Advisory Group, you can find them online at retirementkey.com. Tuesday, January 16th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield, 6:30 p.m. I'm going to be there. I hope you will too. Sign up for free to attend the Protecting Your Retirement educational event. If you visit at retirementkey.com, you can sign up there, but call them at 314-993-9494 with any questions that you might have. Bring a friend, bring your spouse, bring your brother, your sister, whomever it might be, who is with you in that late 50s, early 60s, about to retire. Want to make sure that when you pull the trigger on that you're going to be able to have funds that you've saved and worked your tail off for last you for the rest of your life, of course. And you want to be able to live the retirement of your dreams. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event, you can go Tuesday, June 16th, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. I'll get there at 6. Reserve your spot. Go to retirementkey.com.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat in St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year, this year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down, 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
President Trump steps in on Lisa Brady, Fox News, holding calls on the fighting in Lebanon and announcing a partial ceasefire between Israel and Iran-backed militants.
The president says he had a very productive call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and that no Israeli troops will go to Beirut. Israel's government ordered strikes in Beirut's suburbs Monday, a day after ground forces reached deeper into the country than at any point in the last 26 years. To representatives, President Trump says he also had a very good call with Hezbollah and says the militant group agreed that all shooting.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Comment in the live chat if you can hear me talking right now. I want to ask you guys a question, but I want to make sure that you can actually hear me talking. So I just turned off the radio feed and turned on my local mic here. So this is not over the air. This is just, okay, Joe, thank you. There's a feature on, hey, Ryan,
Yeah.
I have a hot mic on here with the YouTube stream. So just be aware of that.
Okay.
Say all the nice things about the YouTubers.
But
right now.
turds.
Turds? Did you say butt?
I said butt and turds.
You're a 8-year-old
But
boy.
that's just what I was going to say naturally.
Yes. That's all he says is Tourette's.
Butt turd.
There's a feature on YouTube that allows you to send hype. Not my word, theirs. That allows you to send hype to videos. And our YouTube channel ebbs and flows on whether or not YouTube wants to give our videos to people to see. And it's like sometimes we'll go and our videos are getting thousands of views, and then we'll go a week and they're getting like tens of views. And I don't know how to win the algorithm. I'm doing everything I can to figure it out. And as soon as I figure it out, they change it. But there's a key feature called hype. And it's somewhere, it's like in the comments, especially if you're looking on your mobile app, I think. If you're looking on YouTube on your mobile app, where there's comments, there's like a carousel of things that you can. Do you have YouTube on your phone?
No.
Okay. I don't
Or
think,
if I do, I don't use it.
I don't know if I can see it on mine because I'm okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. Can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Here is where you can vote. And so I'm voting. If I get rid of the live chat, let's see here. So right here is where, oops, nope, that's not what I want to do. Under the video, this is where it says live chat. And then you see those little dots over there. I think that's where hype exists if you have hype to give. Now, I'm not telling you have to hype our videos. If you don't like our videos, thanks for watching. But if you do have hype to give and you like our videos, I think it would really help our channel if I think you get like 3 opportunities to do that a week if you threw that our way. I don't know what it is. I've read about it. I've watched videos about it, but that exists. So just stopping in here to tell you about the hype option. Joe, oh, y'all gonna get hyped. Maybe if we can find the button. Anyway, that's all. Back to the show.
Famer.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan. And be ready for the first heat wave. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, it's the 1st of June. You know what that means.
It is summertime.
No?
That's what that means.
That would be like the 21st of June.
No, this is the equinox. I'm telling you right now.
Did you change it on your doctor's appointment?
I put it in my calendar that way.
A little bit of, I guess you can identify as summer these days.
Yeah, I do.
It is Pride Month, and I've got an STLPR story here. And,
okay.
And a couple other ones. This is authored by Hannah Francis Johansson. Pride celebrations across the country continue to lose out on large sponsorships as corporations, a key source of funding, shrink their affiliation with diversity causes and LGBTQ plus events. Corporate sponsorships of celebrations in several cities, including New York City, Salt Lake City, Louisville, St. Louis, Orlando, and Pittsburgh, are down from previous years, organizers said. Jordan Braxton, co-president of the United States Association of Prides, which supports pride celebrations nationwide, said that while some smaller prides have seen a growth in sponsorship, a majority have seen a reduction. She said, this is again, the source is NPR, she said the Trump administration's dismantling of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives have scared corporations away from sponsoring pride celebrations. Quote, I think that's why some of the corporations have pulled back because they don't want that government scrutiny, she said. So as we're looking at Pride Month, I saw, I was kind of scrolling through just very, very quickly. It's always interesting to see what companies, specifically for me, it's always X that I notice them the most, who changes their profile picture to be an ally, if you will. Have you paid any attention to that? Have you, Pride Month is coming, have you seen anything?
Well, I just saw today because looking out our window here, there's Pride Month stuff, decorations and stuff all over these parks.
I didn't look.
Yeah, well, I don't know about your window. My office window, you can see it though. I don't know if you will, but yeah, I pay attention to this stuff. It's a cultural touchstone to see how many corporations, which is why you're talking about that story, get on board with this. Mm-hmm. Because if the corporations back it, that means it is the dominant philosophy. If they don't, that means that it's waning.
So let's talk about that, because it appears as though it's waning. Now I'm sharing an article here from The Advocate written by Ryan Adamchevsky, and I am not going to click this button here that wants me to accept the terms of their... So it's just going to be covering over here. Sorry. This is from The Advocate. These 14 corporations have stopped or scaled back sponsorships of LGBTQ plus pride events. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to the attention of us here in the room and to you listening right now is because I think it's important to objectively assess why this is happening. I personally don't think in the last 20, like if you go 20 years back, well, I'll just say 10 years back. Let's do 10 years back. Maybe 20 years and 10 years. You could do both. I don't think that our society is in 2026 more or less accepting of LGBT, I'll say specifically LGB lifestyles.
Yeah. Yeah, because T is a different animal.
That's like an intra-community concern that they have. But I think in 2016, the idea that there are people who live homosexual lifestyles among us and carry on with their lives, I don't think that is something that is more or less accepted today than it was in 2026. Or in 2016.
16.
Yeah. I think in 2016, we kind of arrived at this place where it was like, there are people who live lifestyles that are different than what was the traditional norm 50 years ago. And they're your family members. They're your friends. They are your coworkers. You know, they exist in life. And whether you religiously believe that scripture approves of it or doesn't approve of it, from a biblical standpoint, if you're a Muslim, obviously there is a religious affiliated viewpoint of those lifestyles from religions that are outside of Christianity. There are religious beliefs about people who might be a part of that LGBT community where your religious faith belief is in conflict with that. But that doesn't mean, I would say going back to 2016 and to 2026, you don't see those people and treat them differently than you would treat somebody who is heterosexual.
Well, it was legalized in 2015, so I would agree that pretty much is what it is. And I haven't looked at polling on this in the last year or two, but I from what I remember, what you're saying is accurate polling, that it kind of just, it is what it is, and then it sort of leveled off.
I see a lot of these protests where, you got like women protesting like, I want equal rights. And then this conservative blogger influencer goes up, it's like, can you please name for me the rights that men have that women don't? And they're like, I'm done with this interview now. Okay, you're dressed like a condom. Kind of weird. and we're moving along.
I don't want attention.
Yeah. Look away. So anyway, here are 14 corporations, according to The Advocate, which maybe I'm not in the community, but I would think that The Advocate would have to be one of the very top publications that those
it's
seeking
one of the
out.
only ones I could name.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let's go through this list here. First one listed, Anheuser-Busch. The Advocate writes, the brewer behind brands such as Bud Light, Budweiser, Corona, and Stella Artois, is that how you say that?
Sure.
Declined to sponsor Pride in its home city of St. Louis. After a partnership of over 30 years, DEI and Outreach Director Jordan Braxton told NBC News that St. Louis Pride was left $150,000 short of its goal until donations from the community made up the difference within days.
Congratulations, you have done private fundraising.
Yeah. I mean, Bush and AB being private too, but, outside of this particular social issue, not relying on your corporate overlords to fund your causes is something that a lot of the people in that political circle would say is a good thing, again, outside of that particular social issue. The Advocate writes, the company also withdrew from San Francisco Pride and Columbus Pride. AB, Anheuser-Busch, which was the target of a conservative boycott after simply sending a free beer to transgender influencer, has not yet commented publicly on its backing out of Pride events. Next one is Booz Allen Hamilton, U.S. government defense contractor.
Okay.
I'm saying I've never heard of that. It sounds like AB. Booze. Allen Hamilton Holding Group dropped its sponsorship of World Pride, which is being hosted in Washington, D.C. from May 17th to June 8th, shortly after it ended its DEI programs. A U.S. government defense contractor, does that mean that it's a publicly funded, or does that mean it's privately funded and does business with the government?
Yeah, usually private company that gets almost exclusively government contracts.
Chief People Officer.
People Officer?
I think you're the CPO of this show here.
Okay.
You put that on your
Thank
resume.
you.
CPO Ryan Wiggins. Amy George Leary said during a virtual company town hall, first viewed by Bloomberg, while our existing people programs comply with law, it is clear from Trump's executive orders and other public statements that the definition of what's allowed is changing. So we must make changes. If we don't, we could be ineligible for contracts with the federal government. This would put our ability to operate and our company at risk.
How would you feel if you were a girl named Amy and your middle name was George?
I don't know. It depends on how BA I was. Another company, corporation, Citi, as in the bank, CITI. Banking giant Citi was one of the low-level donors that withdrew or scaled back its sponsorship of New York City Pride. The spokesperson said, the vast majority of what we have heard is that folks are treading carefully from an economic perspective. Comcast, another major company that withdrew from San Francisco Pride, according to Ford. A spokesman for the corporation wouldn't comment on why it backed out, but noted to NBC that it is sponsoring other Pride celebrations in its home state of California, including Silicon Valley Pride, Oakland Pride, and some events at San Francisco Pride that are hosted by other nonprofits. Smirnoff. Or no, wait. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that okay.
Yakov Smirnoff.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that. How do you say this? Diageo?
Sure.
Diageo. The company behind alcohol brands is Bailey's, Captain Morgan, Crown Royal, and Smirnoff. Has withdrawn from San Francisco Pride. Garnier. Heritage of Pride, the organization that produces New York City's annual Pride events, previously had 5 platinum donors. Those who had donated $175,000 this year, it just had 1. Hair care company Garnier was one of the 4 platinum donors.
Fructis?
Garnier Fructis. Are you just saying words that you think are associated? This is like password or something like that?
Garnier
Lowe's.
surprises me.
Lowe's Home Improvement withdrew its support for Pride Month events this year in Columbus, Ohio. Stonewall Columbus Executive Director Denzel Porteous told the Columbus Dispatch that the $125,000 in lost donations was made up by the community and other partners. MasterCard, another one of New York City's Pride's 4 platinum donors, withdrew support after several years of sponsoring the celebration. The company will still be participating in the march and other events. Spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal, MasterCard is a long-standing supporter of the many communities of which our employees are members, including the LGBTQIA+ community globally. Nissan is another one. Automaker Nissan withdrew or scaled back its sponsorship of NYC Pride. Spokesperson said they're currently reviewing all marketing and sales spending, including auto shows, sports properties, and other entertainment activations to maximize both efficiency and breakthrough effectiveness. Nissan remains committed to promoting an inclusive culture for employees, consumers, dealers, and other key stakeholders. PepsiCo, which makes Aquafina, Cap and Crunch. Who knew?
I didn't know that.
Cheetos.
Didn't know that.
Doritos.
Did know that.
Fritos. You're like, I love this game. Keep
Taco
going.
Bell.
Fritos, Gatorade, Lay's, Life, cereal, Lipton, Mountain Dew, Tostitos, Quaker Oats, among other snacks and drinks. Another one of the low-level donors that withdrew or scaled back NYC Pride donations. And Price Waterhouse, have to scroll again, Coopers, a consulting firm, another one of the low-level donors that withdrew NYC Pride. Sky Vodka.
A lot of alcohol.
You guys remember Sky Blue? Never mind.
No.
Me neither. Target is the 4th platinum donor to alter its commitment to heritage of Pride, while the company is still, quote, sponsoring NYC Pride at a level consistent with last year. According to the spokesperson, Joe Unger Kilbride told The Times that it is contributing as a, quote, silent partner, end quote, and requested not to be listed as a platinum donor to avoid, quote, the publicity.
Now that is something.
Can we just point out, and I keep going through these lists, keeps going. Can I point out that the lead of the story is that Trump's attack on DEI has made people scared to participate in this. These are private companies that can donate to these things if they so choose. There's one that I've seen listed so far that actually does government contract business that's like there could be a conflict here. The spokespeople from these other companies are suggesting that we just need to pull back. Like Nissan, I think it was Nissan that I just read there. They're like, we're looking at the dollars we spend everywhere, and we just want to be the most efficient. None of them are saying we don't like the LGBT community. None of them are saying we don't support this community anymore. But they're saying like maybe this isn't the best use of our dollars right now for whatever particular private business reason that they have. The last one listed here is Walmart. Withdrew its sponsorship from Stonewall Columbus Pride Month events. The company said that store employees in the Columbus area will still be volunteering with community organizations, including LGBTQ plus organizations. Spokesperson Jimmy Carter. I think they're just trying to see if anyone read the whole article.
I don't know.
Spokesperson Jimmy Carter told the Dispatch that the company is focused on, quote, creating an environment where our associates and customers feel they belong. Listen, whether you support LGB and then fill in all the other letters that relate to what you support or not, I don't know anybody who wants to create a divisive and unwelcoming environment for the people involved in the goal that needs to be attended to. Right? Isn't that 2026?
It's so obvious, too. It's like you have to say it, but everybody knows that. What you're talking about is a corporate change. These corporations stick their finger in the wind and they go, which direction is the wind blowing?
This is my takeaway from this. Today's June 1st. It's Pride Month. It is Pride Month, whether you acknowledge it or don't. This is when people are acknowledging it. There is a lot of money coming out of this public advocacy. And there is an assertion that the removal of this public money is something connected to Donald Trump, because of course it is. I want to challenge the premise here that Donald Trump is pulling this away. Out of pressure that these people are pulling away, I want to challenge the premise that the ending of this is peer pressure that comes from the government. I want to challenge the premise to say that I think that the participation in it in the first place was because of peer pressure from advocacy groups that were probably funded by NGO monies, dollars, powers, that there has been a whole apparatus of power structure that includes a lot of money that has been funneled into making these things the big deal that it is, that when we come back down to earth and put our feet on the ground and go, yeah, I don't have a problem with gay people. Yes. I don't look at them and think about their sexuality. I think about, is it my coworker? Can we work together and achieve a goal better because we're working together? If it's your friend, if it's your family member, you love these people because they're people that matter to you. And I don't really feel the need to have to prove it to everybody for 30 days in the middle of the summer. Maybe the peer pressure in this situation was before, and now people are going, I don't really know that I gotta do we have to do all of this? Maybe if it means something to somebody who is particularly part of your local corporation or community, maybe you do a little bit more. Just like if you had a lot of veterans in your organization, your corporation, or if it was run by a veteran or your whatever, that maybe your heart issue for your corporation would be pushed into and lent towards supporting veterans or wounded warriors and that type of thing. But looking around at each other and collectively understanding, yes, we all must nod in affirmation publicly every day, every time someone looks at us to make sure that everybody knows where we stand on this issue. I think we're kind of tired. I think we're a little exhausted by it.
Yeah.
And I think that this is on paper, bottom line proof that communities and corporations on the whole are kind of like, I think we're going to just move past. And I don't think it's at the detriment of the community, of which I'm not a part of the LGBT community. I think it's like, okay, I think we're equal. I think society treats us equally now. Let's move on and act like it.
Acquiescence to the social movement is the story here.
Is that the word of the day?
You liked that, didn't you? It was a big word, and I used it correctly.
Did you Google it?
No, I didn't Google that. That came out of my brain and my heart.
Like your pick line? We'll be right back.
Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts at Busch Stadium. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Louvre. With $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Ready for a fresh start? The Excel Center in St. Louis is here to help you earn your high school diploma, tuition free and on your schedule. With convenient locations in downtown St. Louis and Florissant, you can learn at your pace with support every step of the way. Need childcare, career coaching, flexible classes? We've got you covered. Registration is now open. Don't wait to take the next step toward your future. Visit excel.mersgoodwill.org to enroll today. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
Data centers don't wait, and neither should your supply chain. From power and connectivity to racks and critical power, Graybar brings the products and the experience data centers need now. And with deep inventory and logistics expertise, we keep projects moving from first delivery to final install. With hundreds of locations and a nationwide delivery fleet, we help you bring facilities online, on time, and on budget. Yep. Graybar does that.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative. This segment of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by All Financial.
Check it out. Sports and local.
Ethan's Forgettable Stories.
Yeah, that's right. Ethan's Forgettable Stories today.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
It's pretty rude if you ask me.
It's apropos.
Didn't you misplace your stories?
I misplaced my inventory.
This is really loud.
I have a handful of stories that are the freshest that will be shared today
That's
because
okay.
there are no other stories.
Yay. I did go long in the last segment, so I bailed you out.
I appreciate that very much. And it doesn't get more modern and current than what you are going to get this very second on sports
So fresh and so
local.
clean.
The city of St. Louis has, in the last, 3 hours, conducted an outdoor warning siren test.
Oh,
I
really?
heard that.
You did? I did not.
Yeah, and you could hear like a man speaking over the entire city like it was the voice of God.
What did he say?
I couldn't tell. I just heard
Did he
heard
say,
it.
"This is a test"?
Yeah, it was like,
This is a test.
Yep,
That's how that goes.
Ryan,
No,
if you could hack the system one time and broadcast a message over the city of St. Louis one time, what message would you deliver?
look up. Gotcha. And that fast, too.
What? You were so ready for that. I've been waiting years for her to ask that question. You kind of killed the bit, though. I was gonna do this whole thing where I was
You can
like,
still do it.
No, I literally can't.
Well,
'cause I was
we'll
gonna,
humor you,
I was
Ethan.
going.
Give it your best
the whole
shot.
thing. Okay, yeah, I'll do it, guys.
Okay,
I'll do
yeah,
it.
let's
I'll
do
do
it.
it.
This will be
I'll
fun.
do it. Let's see how it goes. The St. Louis Fire Department shared to social media that all 60 sirens located within city limits were going to be tested simultaneously at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Please let us know on the text line 314-241-9797 if you heard it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you can still do that. That didn't ruin that bit.
Yeah,
Not really. You already said that it was heard. So you kind of ruined it.
Yeah, Ryan, you did ruin
It's a
it.
lot, you
I'm
jerk.
with Ethan.
Sorry.
Gosh, I can't even look
You
at
could still text in. though.
You certainly can.
Actually, text us at
seeing text, don't you?
314-241-9797 and let us know if you think Ryan ruined Ethan's bit.
Yeah, let us know if I ruined it.
You could just let us know if you think Ryan just ruins things in general.
Let us know
Next
if
question.
you heard it, and if you did,
Right,
it will
Ethan,
just be boring.
Don't act for a second like you're not happy Ryan showed up.
Oh, I'm overjoyed.
You were
You
happy
love me.
he's here.
It's like in my mind when Ryan Wiggins shows up, Oh Happy Day starts playing. It's
Yeah.
like
You don't have to do all that
it's a
work.
Oh yeah. It's a wonderful day. The St. Louis Cardinals had a very fun weekend at the
So did
ballpark
I.
that I know that several here partook in, including the one and only Annie Frey. Were you at all 3 games?
No, I didn't go to the one they lost.
How about that?
Take note, Cardinals.
Maybe there is some coincidence there.
It is. It's
not.
fully coincidental.
Yeah, when I'm in the
Or maybe
lineup, we
there's
win.
not.
No, that's not true. That is just a coincidence. It has nothing to do with you. I will ask my friend Ethan to talk to Ali Marmol about it to confirm.
Okay. I was just out there tarps off and the whole time. You guys missed out.
Okay.
Really?
Do you have one of those flesh shirts on, though?
You want to take it over from here?
I would totally wear one of those in the tarps off section. I did ask our boss for a very small budget so we could send you undercover or the opposite of into tarps off. I want you to interview people. It would be so funny.
Did
Wouldn't
you
it be
get an
funny?
answer?
I don't know. I did it on Facebook.
What if I screwed up
How do you
and
screw
did
that up?
tarps on, shorts off,
Well,
but still was
then
waving?
ask your questions fast because you're not going to get to ask a whole lot of them.
Am I interviewing somebody while I'm doing this?
Yeah. Yes, you need to go in there and you need to ask people questions that are probably, if it's you doing it, completely not related to tarps off or baseball. Ask them about the economy.
Did you notice my legs? That's my first question.
To a bunch of 20-year-old guys.
No, to the Cardinals players.
Oh,
I'm interviewing them
gotcha.
after the game, apparently.
Oh, I thought we were talking about interviewing the tarps off dudes.
No, this is taking a turn.
Okay, this segment certainly has taken a turn. Most of these do. It's just how it goes. 6-5 win on Friday night. They lost on Saturday by
Because I wasn't in
score
lineup,
of
Ollie.
6-1. Yeah, we communicated that, Annie. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ooh, that felt patronizing.
And then on Sunday
it
night, 5-1 victory on Sunday Night Baseball on NBC.
I was there.
You were there. Yes, these are things that we have covered. We have gotten through this 3 or 4 times
I
now.
want to sit in all the different sections. I have thoughts on this because I sat in 150, the drinking rail, which is not even a section that I really knew existed. I
thought you were in 250.
No,
Oh, you were down low. It looked like you were higher up.
Well, I was in 150. I
Those are great seats.
I could have called, over the plate balls and strikes. Height, not so much, especially with movement on a baseball. But I was looking straight down central, but I was at the very top of the lowest section, and they have a row called DR, and it's the drinking rail. So it's like sitting at a bar of sorts in a bar stool watching the game.
That's cool. DR.
Great time. But I sat the second on Sunday. My one of my lifelong friends, Katrina, messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want to go to the Cards-Cubs game with me on Sunday?" And she told me later, she goes, "I thought there was a 10% chance you'd say yes." And I was like, "You know what? I think I do want to go." And we sat in section 446 in the top row of the stadium.
When you said yes to Katrina, probably rocked her like a hurricane.
She would agree. She would agree.
Got it.
But
Thank
we
you.
were, yes, probably still too soon, even. The very top row, I was staring straight down the third baseline, and those people up there are watching the game and engaged in the game more than any section that I've sat in. And it was incredible because you were as far away from the game as you could possibly be. But it was so fun. It was refreshing to be sitting up there, kids, adults, Cards fans, Cubs fans, and they were as engaged. It felt like playoff baseball. I actually kind of want to go sit with those people the next time I go to the game.
I wonder if part of it is like a mindset of I just want to go watch, so I'm just going to pay the cheapest amount possible.
These tickets that my friend got were a special that the Cardinals ran, and they sold these tickets for $10. I bought additional tickets for my son and a couple of his friends. They were $20 seats. These were, I think, a little bit further towards the center, so I think that they were $38 yesterday, game day, $38. But they had a sale. It was a $10 seat, and it came with $10 in Cardinals cash.
There you go.
It's a free seat or whatever.
You get some nachos.
And it was incredible. And right at the bottom of the stairs of 446, they had that $5 stand where they had hot dogs, sodas, nachos, like all of the stuff, kind of self-serve. And then you go through and get these food items for $5. If you've been thinking about going to the Cardinals game, and you haven't done it yet, I want to beg you to go back and forget about everything that preceded this next time you go to the game and surrender yourself to the idea of having an incredible time with your family at a Cardinals game. If you do it right, it can be affordable. And like I said, sitting up in those seats, they're up high. But it was
still a great view of the city.
If you go look on my Instagram or Facebook page for the Annie Frey Show, I took a panoramic view of it. It was just a stunning, great place to sit.
I was, who was I sitting? I was sitting next to Joe Pott in the press box with KMOX, and I said to him, I said, this is maybe the best view of St. Louis, and the reason being is that from here, you forget how much this city sucks.
It's a little bit from afar.
How crappy, the reality of the on the ground in the city is.
It's beautiful.
It's a sobering reality, but from there, man, it just looks so freaking beautiful.
Yeah. I just want to encourage people to look for opportunities to spend time with your loved ones, your friends, or your family, and go back and don't listen to what anyone else says. Go back and give a baseball game a try because the baseball team is competing pretty much every night that they play, and they're winning more than they're losing, and it's fun again. And I want to participate in things that are fun without anybody else's influence and telling me whether I should or shouldn't. And I'm telling you should. So
good atmosphere.
Take that for what it's worth.
Being there is so much better than taking your shirt off at home and watching the MLB pitch count app. From the text line, Ryan and Ethan remind me of an old married couple. Ryan blew up Ethan's skit, but it wasn't going to be funny anyway.
You guys are like the Muppets.
It's an unforgiving world.
The person right after that says Ryan ruined the show.
Ryan, okay. And you read that on air.
Yeah.
Is that the guy who texts you every day?
I don't know. And then one right after that says ruined, signed Dan.
Dan.
So two people say it's ruined.
Shout out to you, Dan. What's his area code?
314.
314 Dan?
Yeah, 314 Dan.
If you want to text us, put this number in your phone and text us anytime, 314-241-9797. I'm going to tell you right now that Ryan has a hater who texts us daily, multiple times a day. If you want
I haven't heard from him in a while, though. He may hate it so bad that he's quit listening.
Well, it's always my favorite when people consistently tell me weekly, maybe daily, how terrible the show is, but you cite things from the show every day, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm losing here.
Right.
I have a sweet couple, I think they live in maybe Nevada, who told me I should not wear light colors anymore. It's not, I should only wear dark colors.
Good.
So
and you
today,
wore blue.
Yeah, you listen.
I wore blue, and now I blend into my background.
I can't even tell where your body is at all. You're like a weatherman wearing green.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be seen as little as possible here.
Where are your arms?
If you want to get your text message read on the air,
say something dumb.
No, say something nice about Ryan. It's your best shot because he's the purveyor of texts coming into the show. 314-241-9797. Also tell us if you think Spencer Pratt can win as LA mayor. We'll be right back. AirComfortService.com. You give them a call at 314-513-0091 if you have HVAC concerns. The weather is getting a little toastier here, and I'm looking at the real feel right now. Is it humid outside, Ryan? You were just outside.
It was getting there.
It says that the temperature's 81 and it feels like 96.
Well, it rained all night. So.
Yeah, that's quite a jump. If your comfort zone in your home or in your office isn't cutting it, reach out to Air Comfort Service and get it fixed. 314-513-0091. You can call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation to get a free second opinion on a heat exchanger, compressor repairs. You can reach out to them and avoid that steep repair bill. If you're questioning a quoted repair that you might have been given, Air Comfort Service is waiting for your phone call at 314-513-0091. I could go a whole nother minute talking about the copious awards that they've received, but I'll tell you, as someone who's been a customer of theirs multiple times over, they're the best. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? It's a yes or no question. Let us know what you think about this. Also, just a reminder that Brian Kilmeade is coming to town in November, on the 21st of November at the Factory. You can get tickets right now for the Uniting the States tour. That's going to be fun. We'll be there. We want to see you there. Go to 971talk.com to get tickets. It is 2:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
I don't know what this is about. Russell comments on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Ryan is the best part of the show. Ryan, now Venmo me $15.35 plus Illinois transfer tax, which should come out to be $35 flat.
Done. I will pay $35 for those comments all day.
Okay, I'll send you one right now.
Done.
On the text line.
Look, my ego is that fragile that I would pay $35 to hundreds and hundreds of people.
Do you really have a fragile ego?
I don't know, maybe. I either have a very fragile ego or I do not have one at all.
I know.
I don't know which.
Well, no.
What?
There's a third option.
Say it.
I don't think you have a fragile ego.
What do I have?
I think you're very
egotistical?
No, I don't think you're egotistical. I just think you have a very comfortable sense of self.
That's probably fair.
You're not egotistical. But I also don't.
I come across that way on the radio sometimes because I think it's funny, but I don't feel like I actually have an ego.
Everybody has an ego.
Okay. But not me. I'm the best at it.
You're sympathy farming. Until you
and for
said
$35.
that. For $35. Yeah, we get a show Venmo going, and
I'm only paying out.
Paying out, yeah. Did you do anything fun this past weekend? It's kind of summertime.
Did I do anything fun this weekend? Yeah, it was a weird weekend because my soon-to-be sister-in-law had her bachelorette party this weekend.
Did you go? Were you the entertainment?
I
was. Tell jokes?
You ever seen Bosom Buddies? It was like that. I was like, you guys, let's go out and get drunk. And they were like, I think that is a guy. And they were right.
We're not sure.
They said it though, and I was like, they know, but they never said it to me. Anyway, my wife was at the bachelorette party.
Your wife went to a bachelorette party?
So she was gone this weekend.
How old is the bride to be?
Good question. Probably 35. I don't actually know. It's my brother. That's about how old he is, so.
Not 80, not 15. No. Somewhere in between.
Stuck in the middle. No, she's probably a little younger than that, actually. Sorry.
Well, don't you think bachelorette parties, if you're going to a bachelorette party and you're 22, 32, 42, 52, those are all very different experiences.
Oh, yeah. They went hiking and stuff.
So, that's what they told you.
Yeah. They were like, we were at the library the whole time.
Yeah, the library is a strip club.
Yeah, you were smoking doobies is what you were doing. Smoking doobies and kissing boys.
How old are you?
I'm 44.
You were simultaneously 85 and 17 there, kissing boys. When was the last bachelor party you went to?
Ooh, man. It was probably 2019 when I was on the Glover Show. I missed a portion of the Glover Show to go to a bachelor party that I remember. It was a lot of fun, though.
Was it wild? Have you ever been to a wild bachelor party?
Yes. Oh, my gosh, yes. I've been to one that was crazy.
Tell us all about it.
Okay. We rented. This is a good friend of mine. I was the best man, so I was in charge of the events of the night. So we rented out.
The wildest bachelor party you've ever been to, you planned?
Yeah, because I planned weird stuff, and it got weird from there. We rented out a hot tub at a Gateway Grizzlies game.
Oh, well, I love the story. Keep
You've
going.
heard this
I know
one?
we've talked about this, but yes, let's go. There were
we're all 24, okay, in our physical peak.
Physical peak?
And some of these dudes, I never really worked out
I'm going to say men's physical peak is probably more 20 to 20.
Well, whatever. These dudes were jacked, a couple of them anyway.
Were you?
No. One of them was
jacked up?
former military. He was pretty big. And a buddy of mine, Bill, he was just always kind of a big guy. Well, he had started working out right before that, and he was just huge at that time. And anyway, we're all a bunch of guys in a hot tub in the middle of summer at a Grizzlies game. And
just a bunch of dudes in a hot tub.
Just a bunch of dudes hanging out together.
Totally normal behavior.
Plutonic. And some little kids about the age of 11 or 12 kept walking by and making fun of us guys in a hot tub at the Grizzlies game.
To an extent, were they saying about you?
I don't actually remember, to be quite honest with you.
Were they implying that it was kind of a sausage fest type of situation?
I think so. But I think this was even a little bit beyond. Like, they were a little too young to really even get that. But they were right there. They were right there.
12 is prime age to know how to be full punk, but only understand 50% of what you're saying. Like, you've been around it to hear it, but you really couldn't explain it.
Accurate.
But you are as bold can be at that age.
Oh, my gosh. And they had no idea that the ramifications of their words to a bunch of really big, jacked,
Did you beat these children?
Drunk guys. And most of them were trashed at this point. And so at one point, and one of them, this one kid was being a little
Brat.
Spencer Pratt. And I would say worse words. This kid was a brat. And it was funny for a while.
How old were these children?
I don't know. Again, 12.
Heckling you?
Maybe between the ages of 9 and 12. I don't know.
How many men
Heckling
in the
us,
hot tub together?
And we fully deserved it. Like, we knew this was coming. This was all part of the game. We knew that this was a part of it, and that was part of the fun of it. But there was a couple of them that wouldn't stop.
How many men in the hot tub together?
8 to 10.
That's like cheek to cheek. You know what I mean?
Cheering for foul balls, you know?
Cheering for balls.
Come on, hit one here. You know, totally drunk. And I wasn't because I was the driver. But
what year was this?
I don't know. I was in my mid-20s.
I think maybe my husband would have been working that game in the press box. So
conclusion of the story is this one kid was like a ringleader for the other ones, and he wouldn't stop. And we told him a couple of times.
The ringleader of the 12-year-old
there's
gang,
a group of them, yeah.
Bullies.
And we told, it was fun for a while, but then by the 7th inning or whatever, we're like, okay, it's been fun. Go away. You've had fun. We're all laughing. It's funny. But it's time to stop. And the kid wouldn't stop. And so then my drunk buddy, who was enormous at the time, stands up out of that water like friggin' Godzilla and says a quote that I can't say all the words to because we are on the FCC radio. But he says, "You want jokes? I got jokes." Blank you.
To a child?
That's it. That was the joke.
Did the kid
cry? Basically peed his pants.
Oh.
And ran away to Dad, who Dad wasn't going to do a dang thing to this group of
he assessed
drunk
the situation
25-year-olds. Yeah, he was like, hey, I think my kid maybe deserved that.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that chapter of the day. It only got crazier from there.
Is that the only place you went to in Sauget?
That's the only place I went to in Sauget.
Time for a break. Fair enough. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll get the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor? Yes or no? YouTube.com/@Annie Frey. Find the Annie Frey YouTube channel on your YouTube app and vote there. Text us in the Annie Frey Show text line, 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. You know, I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, At Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Injured by a careless driver? We work with the top doctors in St. Louis. We'll help you get the expert medical care you need and the maximum amount of money you deserve. Call 314-777-7777.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
The song that was playing in the hot tub.
Oh, yeah, this is a great song for a whole bunch of guys
Is this
to
Perry Como? Yeah.
soak to.
You said you had a quick strip club story you had to share?
So
Which I asked, can my children hear this? And you said, yeah.
It's basically clean. If you grew up in the Metro East at all, and maybe even in the St. Louis area, but I know for sure in the Metro East, you remember a place that was between Collinsville and Fairview Heights.
Not Bubby's and Sissies, that's Alton. It's Dottie's?
Dottie's Body
Shop. Yes.
You remember this place because
you can't forget the pictures.
if you were alive during the existence
painting on the side of the white. Is that building gone now?
That building's gone.
Where was it?
What's that?
Where was it?
It was on 159 between Collinsville and Fairview Heights. It was just a solo building right there on the highway.
That place exists in my memory, and I didn't know that it was right there. I think it just, in my mind, existed on a different street that I don't drive anymore. But I drive that a lot.
Well, the crazy thing is, I remember I was born in 81, and I don't know how long they allowed this to go on, but I would say probably the majority of the 80s. There was just a picture of a nude woman on the front of that building.
But like a cartoon painted.
It was
woman.
it wasn't a real picture, but it was a cartoon. Like somebody painted
topless.
a woman fully topless. Just there you go. And it was like we just
go.
drove by it every day.
Why? I think
on
I know
the way
why.
to school or whatever we were doing, and on the way to church, it's like, hey, why don't you look out the left window there, Ryan?
Kids, look.
Okay. Yeah.
I never see anything
it just
over there,
became
Dad.
part of the atmosphere, and you just knew it was there. So you didn't think anything of it. And then one day it was like, oh, they painted over it, but the place was still there. Anyway, point being that I was told by somebody in the I don't know if I should out my dad here, but
don't. I would recommend against it.
I think that this was a common joke among Granite City Steel. That if anybody new came into town who didn't work and wasn't from this area, they would tell them, hey, if you ever need car work,
oh no, go to
Dottie's Body Shop.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
They'd show up and go, all right, thank you very much. Now I am from the Metro East.
Now I know.
Yep.
Now I can do this to somebody else.
Yep.
When did they tear that down?
I'd say early 90s, but I don't know for sure. They had painted over that.
It's definitely something that if you're a child and you see that, you only see it once and you never forget it.
Oh, yeah. It's burned into my memory. But not as something that was, it was told to me that was inappropriate. So anytime I would see it, I would think, oh, that's inappropriate. But that's all I thought.
I completely agree. So your dad told you it was inappropriate, but told coworker to go get his
there.
car fixed at Dottie's.
I don't think it was just him. I think this was a common thing
okay.
throughout all the Metro East.
The YouTube live chat poll, can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor, yes or no? Let's get to some texts at 314-241-9797. Guy on YouTube said, I can't see why the people would not vote for a big change in Los Angeles. Joe said, Pratt seems to be running the, quote, anti-poop in the street campaign. It's amazing how much opposition he's seeing is wild. That's also a good point, Joe. Well said.
This comment from the text line says, as a recently-ish SoCal transplant, the simple answer that he can win is yes, but progressives control the election system, so his realistic chances are slim.
Brad, do you think he can win?
No, I don't think he can win. I think that L.A. is lost. I think that they like what they have, and they've convinced themselves that what they're doing is great, and they're doing the right thing, and they feel good about themselves, and they'll do that, and they'll screw over all the people whose houses burnt down because they don't care, because they feel good about themselves, because I voted for a candidate that's going to give free stuff to people, and then all the people who aren't going to have their houses rebuilt will have to sell and move out of the area and go find a life someplace else. Spencer Pratt will do that as well. He'll move out of the area, and then L.A. will continue to spiral and go downhill until it'll be just a sad story of what was once an American great city.
Man, that is a diagnosis. This text right here says, Spencer can win, anything can happen, and try the bacon-wrapped hot dogs at the Cardinal Stadium. You snuck that in there. There was an ad in that one.
I did see a lot of bacon-wrapped hot dogs signs, and I ate a hot dog on Friday and I ate a hot dog on Sunday, and both times I was like, I just want a hot dog. I don't want it to be bacon wrapped. Are you into bacon wrapped? Do you like meat garnished with meat?
Oh, I love meat garnished with meat. I like a burger that's covered in pulled pork and brisket
and an egg.
Oh, I'll eat that too.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I don't really like the bacon. Here's the only reason I don't like bacon wrapped and sometimes even pretzel wrapped hot dogs is because when you go to eat it, it just kind of shoots out. You take a bite, and that hot dog is going out the other end. So it's impractical. Tastes good, but it's impractical.
Maybe you just need to practice.
Or maybe you need to wrap the end of the hot dog in the pretzel and bacon so that it doesn't.
What's the matter with you? Do you need your pick line back?
No, I'm glad it's gone. Sayonara, pick line. Glad to be back at full capacity.
Can Spencer Pratt win?
I don't think so. I mean, I can't say the chances are very low. Can't say it's impossible, though. So I guess the answer is yes, he could. But
I do think that he is going to enjoy some quiet support, the Trump quiet support that people don't want to say it out loud that they support him, but they do definitely like what they're hearing about it. I'll be curious to see what polling compared to actual turnout looks like, just to see if that still exists. But I cannot imagine a scenario where he wins, but I pray for him, for the city first and foremost, but for the country too, that we get the opportunity to see what that would look like. Can Spencer Pratt win as Los Angeles mayor, yes or no? 77% of y'all said yes. So, and then of course you have to ask yourself, do they cheat in Los Angeles? I don't know. I heard something about some ballots burning this weekend. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, yeah, it starts. The primaries tomorrow. We'll be covering it. Mark Reardon next.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Audion Hearing.
The job surge in 2026 can be a case of AI talking to AI, and it's leaving humans